Hey, Luis, can you hear me? Give me a feedback. I'm just testing this out tonight. Hey, Luis, can you hear me? And I got my help if I muted that. All right. Let me know if you can hear me. Kind of cleaning it up for the night. Oh, good. Lower the volume on the computer. All right. Tell me if that sounds a little better. Hey, Jennifer. Is that loud enough? Can you guys hear me, or is that still too loud? Yeah, I'm going live, Jennifer. What are you guys up to tonight? Oh, good. Cool. You gonna jump on with me here, Jennifer? I know how much you love lives. What are you guys doing up so late? Just listening? Cool, cool. I'm learning this out. This is all new for me, guys. So if I'm not talking enough, tell me to yap away. So I'm working on something here. Maybe in the next couple weeks, I have a couple ideas rolling in my head. 9 p.m. in Cali. Yep, that's 2 hours back. Jennifer, remind me where you are again. I'm so bad. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Hey. So is it pronounced Marquette? Am I saying that right? I see you sometimes. Yeah, Luis, man, it's just like, okay. My friends keep telling me, go on it. I'm like, I don't want to mess with it. And I just looked up streaming tonight, like 5 minutes ago, trying to figure it all out. Oh, Delaware. Oh, man, you are way east. You're in Delaware? Sweet. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together. I look sometimes or try to figure out, like on Instagram, well, that person's here, this person's here. I'm still becoming familiar with everybody. I'm slow to go. It's late, so forgive me. How many things you get listed, Luis? Okay, that's how this works. I'm getting it. Did anybody go thrifting today? What did you get? I found some pretty unique things today. I'm going to show you guys. So this was the deal of the day. I got 10 of these and about, I think it was 3 or 4 large and about 6 medium-sized gloves. They're expensive. I comped them. They came up like, they're selling online for like 25, 26 bucks. And that's maybe with shipping. I can't remember. And got 10 of them. And the lady was like asking 6 each. And then she's like, well, I'll give them to you for 5 if you buy more than one. I'm like, come on, give me a better deal than that. Hey, Storage Scavenger, remind me your name. People coming in. So, Luis, when you're on StreamYard, where do you see the numbers, or do you have to look over to the computer? Does it say? Okay, 3. Right on. This is totally. James. Right on, dude. Remind me, James, where are you at? What state? Yeah, 3. Cool. Oh, the Northwest. Yeah, they've had some issues. There's been some mixed kind of mixed signals with the media, and I'm in a capital city, so here in Austin, Texas, with the capital, we get a lot of political dialogue going on here. And I'd say times we get the flags to do it, and the governor, who happens to be in our city, will argue with our mayor and tell us what to do. And so then it just becomes a bunch of talking heads and red tape and chitter chatter. And so some things are closing, like half of our thrift shops are open and half are not. Yeah. Lockhart, Texas. No, dude, you're in Lockhart? Get out. Oh, so you know what I'm talking about. Right on. I almost went to an estate sale today in Lockhart. And I thought, I'm not driving. It's too far. Then I'm looking at Bastrop and stuff. Do you guys have the garage sale app? It's like populating all these little red dots. You need to figure out how to. What are you saying, Jennifer? Who are you talking to? You say, let me put that up. Need to figure out how. Oh. That says what I'm thinking it says. Yeah, it is crazy, dude. James, I don't know. We'll have to meet up one day. Do you ever go to the bins down at, did you ever go to the bins at, there at Burleson Road? That's just down the road from where my P.O. box is. I popped my head in there the other day, and it just seemed kind of crazy. People were just too close to each other. I ran out. You need okay. All right, Jennifer, help me out. Yeah, definitely. You're the first one. Let me see. Go over here. No, can't block you. All right, Luis, or somebody's going to have to remind me. Where the heck do you... What do you do the blue wrench thing? Yeah. Settings? You can laugh at me, Jennifer. It's good. If anybody gets to laugh at me, it's you. You know everybody. I don't know. Have to do the INT though. Oh, it's through YouTube. Oh, duh. Because I'm logged in. Really? Not getting it. No. Yeah, the one on YouTube or the one? Oh, you can't do it from the StreamYard? Serious? Okay, I went in there. Oh, duh. Hello. Add as moderator. Oops. Don't tell Jennifer when I didn't moderate her first. You guys did it at the same time. All right, James in there, and James, I put you down. I think it is. Oh no, actually, I did Marrakech 7. He's like, help him, Luis. Let me put him there. Thanks, dude. I'm getting it. Okay, Jennifer, did I blue wrench you? Oops. And hold on, Luis. Right on. We'll be an expert in no time. Yeah. You look good in blue or not in blue. Don't worry about it. You're good in my book. Luis, did I give you some blue? Blue by you? Come on now. Oh no, you're there. He just didn't speak yet. Thanks. Good job. You guys are You guys are good along the ride here. Let's get on this horse and go in circles. Thank you. All right. What's on everybody's agenda for tomorrow? Sleep in? Breakfast? Or sleep all the way through to lunch? I had a long day. I may not go. I can't go out anymore. I spent about $200 this weekend on product. Tell me about it, Luis. Dude, are you getting where are you in California? I keep forgetting. You probably told me like 100 times. Are you close to Santa Cruz where all the fires are going down? Because if you are, that's terrible. Crazy, crazy. It does take some time, James. Take me like 2 years. Wait, what are you guys doing on Saturday night? It's like, you don't need to be staying up late with me. You should be getting your rest. Probably won't go anywhere either. Where are you going to go? So, Jennifer, unless you don't want to type, I don't blame you. Tell me about the thrift shop. I think I saw on your Instagram. And you were like, you found some cool, that creepy clown, or what was it, a clown in a cookie jar? Oh, you're in SoCal, dude. Luis, you're in SoCal. I think all my cousins left SoCal. I had a bunch of cousins down Southern California. Hey, how's it going? Flips Find Fun. What's up, dude? You're doing some listing. Good. How many did you get listed? Come on, give us some numbers. Don't say 2. I got all this to list. And this. I may do that while I'm talking to you guys. I may not. I may just give up and go to bed. Yeah, what was a cookie jar, Jennifer? I think you said you didn't get it because it had like a little chip or something on it. I've done some, not often, like if it's artwork, I may do some restoration. I have like a paint set and stuff. I used to work for a museum, so I learned some tips. Sometimes if it's something that I don't feel it's like worth high value, I'll touch it up a little bit, like whether it's the frame. I don't want to mess with artwork too much, especially if it's a Picasso. Yeah, you want to jump in, dude? Let me see your link. All right, here's the other thing. I don't know how to do that, but I got the link here. Let me figure it out. All right, here we go. Let's figure this out. Am I going to get a bunch of trolls if I put this link? I saw something really creepy happen on, well, I don't want to say who it was, but somebody had a live the other night. Turn the date. Some trolls got in and put some nasty stuff. Hey, Josh, hold on a sec. Okay, there you go. Here we go. Anybody wants to jump in, let me know. Test that out. Does it just show up, Luis, Josh? Anybody? James? Jennifer, do you know? I know it's going to take them a couple minutes to sneak in there. I'm gonna see. There it goes. All right. Josh, I think I see you. Add to stream. All right, here you go, dude. I know it's going to take. Hey.
All good, man. I was just muting my YouTube, so.
Oh, yeah. You up late?
Yeah, I usually do this stuff from like 10 o'clock until 1 in the morning, so.
To 4 in the morning?
No, like 1 in the morning.
Oh, I thought you said 4. I was like, what? Dude.
Yeah, just filmed another video. And like was trying to film that really quickly so I can get some listing done.
Okay. I hear you. So you're busy. How many lives did you do this week? Was it one or two?
I did a random one Monday night, and then me and
Joey?
Yakov, Jake, we do our Tuesday night live.
Okay. So he goes by Jake, right?
Well, he goes by Yakov Benz. That's his YouTube name. That's his like Hebrew name, but Jake is his first name.
I've heard it thrown around, but I was like, is that Jake? Or I was like, I don't want to say. And I'm like, well, is Yakov his real name? And I see you guys all the time. It's like, you never know.
Our Tuesday night show's growing, and working on it interview style, So I love it, man. How have you been? How's it down there in Texas?
It's been kind of weird. I was telling some of the first ones that came in, it's just been kind of miss in terms of being able to get some sourcing done. But I got lucky. I went to this one estate sale, and they let only a certain amount of people in, and I went in there Friday and waiting there for like 2 hours.
Wow.
Crazy. It was worth it. Yeah. Collected 50 years of stuff.
Oh wow. No, I basically did the my thrift run. I was only planning on going on 2 stores on Friday. Ended up going to like 6 stores.
I'm planning, just planning on 2.
Yeah, I was like, hey, we're gonna start it off. We're gonna go to it. My video dropped like at 9 o'clock tonight. Just premiered it to go like, hey, I'll show you a little bit of stuff. And I still only filmed 4 of them. There was 2 more that I didn't even film. But I did pretty good.
You mostly go by yourself, don't you?
Yeah, I'll take my wife on some weekends and stuff, and sometimes we just go. We don't really film.
It seems like I remember seeing her in one of your videos from like a while back. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's just because I'm off on Friday. She's not. Friday's usually my big source day. So if she wants to go on like Saturday, sure. But yeah.
Yeah, that's nice for you, because if you don't get to see her all the time, if you got to do that, it's your work. So if you're doing that, I mean, I know you have another job too, part time. Because don't you pastor or something?
Yeah. So Sundays are usually pretty busy for me. I'm an online pastor, so I have to do a couple of different times during the Sunday, and then I connect with people all over the world. So
I'm not a pastor or anything, but I facilitate a group at my church, and so we have to meet like once a week, and that's hard. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to go, and then you're there and you get invigorated, and you're like, it's like
glad I came. Yeah.
What's that?
You're like, I'm glad I came. You're like,
yeah. It's like sometimes it just because I'm like, oh, I need a list, or I'm like, what am I talking about? I need to talk to my old friends, and and then we catch up, and it's good talk.
Well, I'm gonna be kicking off, and you're kind of one of the first ones to hear about it, which is cool.
Cool.
I'm gonna be doing like a privatized, group for everybody, like one night a week. Everybody to get on a private chat and just check on everybody, and I'll cover
just do like a dialogue and just kind of check in.
I'll as a pastor, won't turn into like a Bible study, but it'll be really like, hey, here's some application things, for just life, and just keep it as an open dialogue for people.
That's good. Yeah. Is it going to be like just more for resellers?
Yeah, I'm thinking like that would be a really good group to do it with.
Pretty good. I like hearing about stuff like that. Like, trying to remember the guy's name. He's good friends with Clay and Emily. He does that. He has a book group, but he always does stuff on positive, type of aims and goals and stuff like that. Resellers.
And that's what I did. Like I jumped on Emily's show one time, and like I could have elaborated for like another hour talking about. She was doing the one on comparison.
Yeah.
And I said, how I kill comparison? I kill it with kindness. And
I think I was there that night. Yeah, because I think it was the first time it wasn't the first time I saw you. I mean, I seen you in lives, and then I was like, oh, okay, there's the face. And you had a lot of good things to contribute. I remember that was a few months ago.
Yeah, and that's what I try to do. It's like when people are going through something, I'm like, here's what you can do. You know, I went live Monday because I was having a bad day. I went live that Monday night, and I said, I just want to celebrate people and have some fun, tell some jokes, and get people on the up and up. You know why? Because I need this community right now. I was just having a day where I was getting frustrated, and I was like, nope, let's jump in this community and see how everybody's doing. You know.
Yeah, because you have your job. You know, you got a job. You're a father.
Mm-hmm.
You're also a husband.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're this dude that's trying to like capture all this and ascertain it both as a person of it's inventing all this new content, and
Yeah,
you gotta maintain your integrity and your body, mind, and spirit is like
it gets fun to juggle, man.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting, and I like hearing the integrity of like a lot of the folks in the groups. Like Sam will talk about it openly. He's really good about that, articulating it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like hearing you and some other folks too. It's like good. Bring forth,
Right, and that's what I tell people. I was like, I don't use my faith to force on anybody. I'm like, I'd rather you be able to knowing somebody you can turn to rather than turning to other things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I never want people to have to feel like they have to walk alone.
Yeah. And just when you share, it's like, depending on like your background and your belief, whatever system it is,
right.
And it's just like you want to bring forth that in the best way you can by not preaching it, so to speak, or just here's my advice. No, you don't want to give it.
Nope. I'm like, here's how I live it out. Yeah.
If you want my advice, I'll give it to you, but you better be listening.
Yeah.
But like I'm not Catholic, but one of my favorite sayings I've ever read was from a patron saint. I think it's like Saint Francis of Assisi, and he says, "You want to preach the gospel? Just go out in the world, but use words when necessary."
Yep.
I thought, wow, talk about
100%
by example.
100%, man. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, we can have a difference of everything. One of my closest friends, complete atheist, and
he considers himself atheist.
Yeah, 100%. And he goes, and my biggest problem is, he goes, every time he says that, it's the way he's treated by people of faith, And he goes, you did more. Now, you want to talk about a testimony of something, because it tears me up every time I think about it.
Cool.
I think a man went to jail for a little over a year, back child support, stuff like that. And when he got out, he was kind of on down and outs. And my wife and he's been friends with my wife as well. Got him a bed to sleep on. I mean, a physical bed. I was just like, hey, man, you've always worked hard. You've always done that. And he goes, you don't.
So he was in need, and you helped him out pretty good.
I wanted to help him out. And we've already known each other. I said, hey, man, he said, yep, trying to kick some drug habits. And I said, cool, dude. Call me when you feel like it. When you feel like it, I want to help you out and do whatever I can. That man, when
that's a lot to take on,
Right. So when he found out that we were having a child, this atheist man bought us our first set of Bible stories to read to our son. He said, he goes, I know where your faith is, and I want you to teach your child what you do well.
Because he saw it in you.
Yeah. And he sends people to our church. He goes,
that's a rich testimony, dude. Thanks for sharing.
He goes, because of the way that you guys care for people and the way you care for people. He goes, when I see broken people, if I'm wrong, I don't want them to follow me. He goes, if I'm wrong, I don't want to lead them that way. I'd rather them have a chance and get help.
I like that you said, did you use the word broken?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a not that it's polite. It's just it's just a little more sensitive. Because yeah.
And that's what's really cool, man. It's just and he's been one of my, greatest friends. It's like he'll call me randomly and he's like, hey, man, yeah, dude, I met this single mom and she's kind of down and out. She got thrown out by the dude she was with, and you got some numbers she can call, and like he'll still come to church, and he's like, man, I love that everybody's like smiling to me and they care.
Yeah, I mean, people can still care and be be friendly and helpful and still set boundaries, but at the same time, it's like, you got to be a decent human being. How you going to, you know what I mean? Sometimes just the ear is the best thing that somebody needs,
Dude, an ear. I challenge people all the time. I'm like, smile at a person, especially in today's kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Do your best to like wave. You don't know if that person's suicidal. You don't know if they just lost their job. They're about to lose their house. Like you would shock how you could change someone's day by just the way you interact with people.
So my community, we have this like really rich tradition of silence. We, it's almost like I'm trying to think of on the East Coast. There's Quakers that are like very much into silence and stuff like that. We're not Quakers, but we don't practice any of that. But it's like we have this concept of just sometimes if you don't know what to say or think, just sit in silence.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes sitting in silence is sitting in your own frustration, your own anger, or whatever it is, or your moods or your pain if you're suffering or something, and just but pray it through, or however you don't believe in prayer, wish it through, just contemplate. Really, just take time and to really see deeper, so you can see others, in the light. And if you 100%. Do, it's like, oh, okay, I'm seeing, that person as if they were, across the figure or something,
Right. That's what I say. I'm like
hey Gary.
I know, Westside Gary hanging out.
Let me say hi to a couple people real quick. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. I'm seeing some new people. Like
I'm totally new at this, dude. You got to give me some tips one day.
Oh, dude, no. Hey, I just saw you
look over here because I can't even. I'm doing so. It's like I see you guys. Sometimes you guys have your monitors next to each other, so I'm like.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll keep my phone like right here, and I'll keep my phone like right next to the screen, just so I'm not like going crazy.
What am I doing? Trying to listen to you. I got into talking to you too. It's like, look, carry on. So, hi everybody. I'm using my phone.
Oh, you're good. I mean, I'll go down the list real quick. I was like, I see, Cali Reseller still here. They're having a good conversation here on the side.
Cool, right on. Good. You know what I noticed Saturdays? I don't know why. I've always thought there was a lot of stuff going on Saturdays, and I noticed in the last month I kind of like, let me go see what's going. There's nothing going on Saturday, and I get it. I mean, I can see why. And who commit to Saturday?
I'll drop premieres and stuff.
Okay.
I was doing a few, like I would jump on and do a live Sunday night sometimes.
I'm gonna blue wrench you, by the way. I'm listening.
Oh, you're good. I would do like the live sometimes, and then it was just like I've now seen Tommy and Tracy. They go live at like 10 p.m.
So you give kind of like a shout out?
Huh?
You mean like a shout out?
No. Like I just don't want to step on other people's time if they have like
the crossover times. Yeah. All right. Gotcha.
So like I try to build off of other people's time, or like if I see that audience and stuff like that.
I appreciate when people do that. Yeah.
Like, because I'm just like, no, because I want to jump in and chat with those people too.
So yeah, and that's just it. You want to be respectful of everybody, and not. I don't like when they say I'm stepping on your toes. It's like, well, times are free. You can do it, but what you're really doing is the people that come to watch it are sometimes the same people that have their own shows, but just you want to give everybody a chance to like go from room to room. It's like having Zoom meetings back to back.
Right.
No.
and that's the way it kind of worked out for us on Tuesday, because Kat was already doing hers, and she was one of the biggest people. She was like, me and Yakov, like we just started joking around. Yakov started calling me, going on like thrift store, and she said, "Hey," she had me on her show one day, and she goes, "You and Yakov should keep doing this weekly thing."
That's nice.
And so she'll usually drop
She's good like that.
At the end of her show, she's like, "Hey, and you can check out Josh and Yakov in like 30 minutes," and I appreciate the heck out of her, and but that's what it is. It's like you find somebody and you find that community anyway that you're already in the chat talking to them. That's like cool. Like find that night that work. And I love the 10 o'clock spot because I get a lot of folks like where you are, Texas, California.
I was gonna ask you, how does that work for you as a dad and having your job, and things like that? I mean, are you good? You're good to go when you get up in the morning and stuff, or?
Yeah. So my late nights. So Thursday night's like my Friday night. Thursday night is like, man, I can stay up till 2, 3 in the morning getting stuff listed. I'll try to sleep in on Friday, try to do some sourcing. But like tonight, I'll be in bed in the next 30 minutes. So that way I'm in bed by 1. I'm still going to edit a video tonight. I'll get up at...
You're on here talking to me.
Yeah. I'll get up at 6.
Thanks, by the way.
I'll keep rolling. And then what's worked really well for me, and makes me feel old, but I enjoy them. I even do it during the weekday. When I get off work, I come home and I take a 30-minute nap.
Yeah.
I'll take a caffeine-induced 30-minute nap.
Yeah, when I lived in Europe for about a year, and I was like, what does everybody take? Why does everything stop right between 12 and 1 or whatever it is, or 1 and 2?
Yeah.
They were all taking naps, and I was like, let me try this. And I would drink an espresso and still go to sleep.
Yeah. No, those coffee naps are so good.
It's weird. It's like
your body gets 30 minutes and your brain gets 30 minutes to get that caffeine in the system. When you wake up, you're like, let's go. So
I do that afternoon.
4:30, 5 o'clock. So I'll do that. My wife gets done at 5 o'clock from her job. I cook dinner in our house. I play with my son. We get him in bed by 8:30. Hang out with my wife. I'll watch a little bit of TV. She'll either help me list, like tonight, she listed a few items, or when she's done watching TV at 10 o'clock, then I come into the office and I do this for about 3 hours.
Just
that way,
you got your program laid out.
Yep. I started working on and it's a good talk that I want to do with people. It's probably down the road one day, but
maybe even that group you're talking about.
Yeah, you only get 24 hours in a day. Make it into a pie chart and create your margins and make some areas smaller so you can make other areas bigger. Create the margin. You don't get any more time. You don't get any less time. What are you doing with it? So
that's a good point. Yeah, I got this board up on the wall right here, and I went out and spent money on it as one of those dry erase. And, one of these guys that's online, his name's Derek. Fundamentals of Hustling.
Yeah.
And so he has that board he put it, but I loved his chart, so I stole that from him. I told him, I said, hey, dude, I'm taking that from you. I'm going to use it, but I'm going to modify it and tweak it. And I did. And first week was good. I'm like, okay, boom. Oh, now I'm seeing the numbers, and it's like, crap, list, and then but you're just looking at the day as a whole, not like you said, you're compensating for hours. Sometimes I don't want to drift, and I want to compensate and keep to get to the goal. I want to keep my aims daily. I have hourly aims, daily aims. It's like, okay, let me stop and do this.
One thing I was super bad about that I worked on back in this was back in January before I started reselling, is I started doing the math on all right, how much time can I devote to this? And this time's not allowed to interfere with my family time, and I don't want to disrespect my job. Yeah. I was working late at my job, late some days, and guess what I was doing? It was interfering with family time. It was making me tired. You're cooking up fast food more than you're cooking dinner. It was just
no.
It's little dumb stuff.
I got into that habit.
But by doing this and saying, nope, when I'm done with my job, as much as I can, as a pastor, you don't really get time off. But I was trying to leave work at work as much as I could, make sure I spend that good family quality time. And then it was cool. And so I probably only list about 4 days a week. I try to rest a few nights too. So
that's a good fair, well, being that you have family and that you have a, full-time job, you're, I would say I probably do average about 4 days a week of listing too. And it's I'm trying to do this full time, but I also use that other time to spend with my daughter and whatnot.
Right.
You got other things,
How old is your daughter?
She's gonna be 18 in next month. I can't believe it.
Cherish the times, man.
It went so fast.
Cherish
She's a senior this year, and I've been contemplating this. I talked to a few other resellers and some that have family members too that whether it's grandchildren or children, or nieces and nephews. And this is a mysterious, really, in the true sense of the word, it's very mysterious for them, but in a way that I think, like, I caught her like in total negative talk. And she was just like, how was your first day of school? And, and I'm like, whoa, let's slow down here. I'm going to play the devil's advocate. These are teachers that have been thrown a lot of this stuff at the last minute. Let's just, technology sucks. And that, just teen talk. And I'm like, hey, take it easy. Take it easy. I'm on your side, And she just,
Right.
And I'm like, just because you don't have friends to go gripe this to, you can't treat yourself like that. Let alone, am I going to tolerate it? So you got to just think positive. Think, what am I going to learn from this? What can we do? This is just the first week. This, not everything's going to be like, where you get what you want. And we're in a crisis.
It's a fun statement. I say it's okay for things to suck. It's just not okay for them to stay that way. Because every problem gives an opportunity to work on a solution. I look at that all the time. I'm alone. So I always try to get people to identify that. So like for her, I'm like, cool. So what's the problem? What's the big problem? I don't see my friends. The teachers don't feel organized. This is a backwards system from what I'm used to. I'm like, sweet. What are 3 solutions that you can make your tomorrow better?
Oh, and she's right past that resistance phase. Now I'm going to think the way and do it. I'm like, come on, play along with me. She's like, Dad, I know what you're up to. No. And I'm like, well, then I said, you're making the choice. And so what I do is I talk straight talk with her like an adult. I'm like, no. Then you know what? I can suggest things, and I know you already don't want my advice, and I don't blame you. But at the same token, what are you doing to better your situation? Well, I can't. You didn't answer the question. So once I get her to slow down, it's like, because the whole thing about the pandemic, people are constantly in their heads. She's one of those that I'm like fighting her tooth and nail. I'm like, can you put this away? Can you put this phone away? Just put it in a shoebox for 1 hour. 1 hour. Shut up. She's like, looks at me like, are you kidding? She goes to bed with it and she's still typing. And I'm like, not gonna help you. Your melatonin's gonna be screwed up. She knows on one level,
but that, you hit it right on the head, man. Because I'll tell them, I'm like, I'm not getting you to create 3 things to help me. I'm doing great. This is for yourself. And if you don't want to help yourself, cool. Like, if you don't want to help yourself, I don't want to hear you complain. That's my biggest thing. I'm like, if you have opportunity to work on it, don't complain.
Well, the thing is it's like, so if you don't want to be judged, and we know that judging is probably one of the worst and most fierce things you can do, let alone yourself. We do it to ourselves. I know. I think you're the liar. They say, I never. Well, when you tell yourself those lies, like I'm perfect, I'm good, you're in a way. But what was the point I was going to make? It's like, when you're sitting there condemning, it's just, to the point where you're just going to blockade it. I kind of ran off on a tangent there. I forgot part of what we were saying, but
you're good. No.
Let's say hi to a couple people real quick. There's Andy. I see. Hey. I like when he does his little things. So.
Oh, Andy will throw 1,000 different emojis in the entire
thing. He and I understand each other. I get some of his emojis.
Yeah.
Some people go, what do you do? And then like he'll pick up on mine and go, what is that? Like, I'll use 2 turkeys that look like eyeballs, and then I'll put like a nose in it. And he's like, those eyes are on fire or something. And he's like, you gonna come on, Andy?
He's probably in a grocery store.
Yes, he is. And he's probably buying good food. He ticks me off. It's so good.
He's a smart man.
Who did I not say hi to here? I know Luis is here. Smile Time Gifts. You were here at the beginning, right?
Working but listening. It's good.
How many people are here? 7. That's cool.
7. 7 people.
It was 10 like a while ago.
Somebody said,
forget this. Talking positive talk. No positive talk.
No. Complain about your sale.
Don't gossip.
Guys, I picked up an item and it flopped.
What was it?
Well, it hasn't totally flopped.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought you were actually mentioning something.
No, I got a really good video dropping tomorrow, though, man. I mentioned it before. It was like something in my prayer time and challenging myself for the rest of 2020. It's gonna be fun. That's so much fun.
Oh, so that's it. That's an interesting perspective, Josh. So you're making sure some people are already there and we're complaining and we're in our heads of like, oh, back in March and da da da, and and whatever. And the summer sucks. It's hot. And what about the rest of 2020? Whether you're talking about from the perspective of a reseller, like 4Q.
Not just there. One of my biggest things, man, like the people I surround myself with are like goals. I don't even care if it's the smallest goal in the world. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was in my chat on the premiere and they're like, oh, I haven't written down any goals. I'll start working on goals when I become a full-time reseller. It's like, congrats, you just made a goal. Like, become a full-time reseller. Like, go for it.
Oh gosh, don't even go there. Because when you try to, yeah.
But I was just telling him, I was like, all right, what steps does it take, to get there? Start working that out. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. But
oh my gosh, they don't even see the insights of that it goes beyond that, because what we got to do, we're still maintaining. Who was I watching? It's like, I mean, more than one person's mentioned this, but I think it was Old School Picker said tonight, I'm doing this and I'm doing this, and it may have been like on Eric's talk the other day.
Yeah.
The way he said it and the way he not that we don't know it, like, we're in the midst of it, but the way he put it was like, it was almost like he didn't say it, but it was almost like saying, be gentle on yourself. You're a dad, you're doing this, and then you're trying to be they don't get what we do as a reseller,
right.
Day by day can be different and it can be very.
Oh, big time. So for me, like looking through 2020.
Listen, I'm just going to give you a couple blue wrenches.
You're good, man. I'm like, through 2020, I'm just trying to like do what I can do at the capacity I can do. If things change, I must be flexible. That's my number one thing, man. Flexibility, go for it. Like,
so
stretching every day. See how limber you are with your life, But, and then I just make, sorry.
I want to come back to that though.
I make 30-day goals. I make 90-day goals. I mean, I have goals planned out for 3 years and I keep them like written down. I watch over them and I go, all right, is the decision I'm making here or the effect of whatever else decision I made, is it getting me closer or did it delay me? What do I have to do? I got to regroup, but I keep them in front of me. So.
Yeah. And that's really imperative, is like just being able to observe that first. Once you observe it, then you can, so to speak, like we do, in YouTube, is how can I document what I'm doing wrong? What am I not? Like I think somebody told me like the Greek word for the word sin is to miss the mark, something to that effect. And so if you're keeping an aim, we're getting out our reseller bows and arrows and we're trying to, shoot it up and hit every target.
Right.
We do it all the time. Our arms are going to get tired, or our mental capacity, and what was it you were saying a little while ago? You got to keep flexible. Was that the word you used?
Yeah.
So if you're doing that, mental flexibility is really key.
Yep.
But, and I think it's most imperative. If you're not watching all those things, how are you going to keep your, to me, I never look at a goal is a bunch of little aims. Maybe I'm getting some semantics here, but
okay.
Really, like if you break it up into a pie chart, you got your big goal. It's always going to be these little aims. Like, am I sleeping in too long? Am I going to mess that time up? That's going to mess the other time. Okay. Right. Then your linear time you're looking at. But like if you're not like focused and you stood up that late and whatever, you're not eating properly, you're not, taking your as I like to call it, quiet time and just focus and meditate and whatever, and so how do you keep those things, always on a constant basis? You got to check in, right?
Well, if people aren't good at this, because I'm not good at it, but it's such a big help, I schedule those things for myself. Like I have alarms in my
keep
phone.
those appointments.
I have those alarms in my phone that are like, hey, you need to do this. Hey, it's time
There's
to
apps for that too.
And And then what it helps me do is it helps me not, you can procrastinate thinking about procrastination. It's a huge thing, especially for YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to do that video because I don't know if the idea is going to be good. And then I'll just do this. Wait, I'll just record something totally different. And then it's like a week later, you didn't do anything.
Yeah, and then if you don't catch that negative talk right away, it's like, okay, what part of me is really saying that? I mean, it's like whiny Louie talking here, going, I don't want to. Why? Yeah. Because, okay, is it difficult? Okay, oh, it's because you hadn't learned that aspect of the editing system. Like I heard, I think it was Sam was talking. Yeah, it was Sam on one of his last lives, and he said, I'm having a hard time with this editor, and I'm like, yes, but he knows it's like you got to struggle to get to that key point, and people don't want to struggle. People don't.
What you said, you could have not done this. You could have not done this live. You could have let yourself back yourself out of doing this live.
I wanted to go to bed. I really did. I was like, I'm ready to go to bed. Picked up one more back here. I think Andy took off. He went back to shopping.
He did. He found
George Scavenger's in Texas with me, correct? That's James. James is Storage Scavenger.
What part of Texas? What part of Texas are you in, Louie?
I'm what they call the Hill Country, Central Texas, just in generic. There's North Panhandle, and then there's East Texas. I got a good one for you. If next time you watch, is a Texas director. He did this movie called Bernie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you remember the very beginning when he shows this map of Texas?
Yeah.
And it's so stereotypical, funny, tongue in cheek, kind of like what he says is kind of mocking those areas in terms of the demographics of Texas's layout, but at the same time, there's a lot of truth in it too, And he's like, well, here in Austin, where all the women have hairy legs, oh my god. Basically, what it is it's an archetype. It's an archetype that because Central Texas capital is more liberal. It's the more hippies there, so hippies have hairy legs, And the guy that did that, he wrote a really well-made script for something that was based on true facts, not the beginning, but the storyline. I think I can't remember what was his name.
Yeah. Virginia's a weird conglomerate of people.
I love Virginia. I passed through it, and I had a couple friends in graduate school that were from the Virginia area.
Oh, nice.
It's beautiful there, parts of it.
Oh yeah, no, I love that we can get to the coast in 2 hours. We can be in the mountains in 2 hours, like where I live. Yeah. So I'll be heading up to the mountains for 4 or 5 days here.
You ever go to West Virginia?
I've driven through.
Yeah.
Mostly hang out in Tennessee. That's where we have a lot of family and history from.
In Tennessee?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Northwest Knoxville. So
I fell in love driving. Oh wow. Okay. Knoxville. Yeah. The few times I drove through there, I took my time. I love the mountains there. So I grew up on the West Coast, and I was really close to Sierra Nevada. So I would go hiking, camping, and this is so much. It's like that's one reason I moved to this part of Texas, because at least there's some hills and you can kind of just go out and kind of get lost and maybe see some green belts and see some nature, which I think is important.
Yeah, I primarily, when I get to Texas, I get to Dallas. I got pastor friends down there, so I haven't been able to explore much of Texas, but
there's still time.
Oh yeah,
you're pretty young, dude.
Oh yeah, we'll be doing a lot of traveling in the next year or two.
Cool. Well, keep YouTube up. You make more connections. You can go meet people for coffee or lunch or dinner, and just.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the funny part. Like I tell people all the time. So I keep the two worlds separate in that way. What's up?
Hey guys.
Lockhart, right?
Yeah, I'm in Lockhart, so I'm just 30 minutes away from you.
I was gonna say, dude, yeah. Did you know what's her name? Pinching Pesos?
I had heard of her channel. I had just got into I'm still learning, meeting everybody online, so I never met her.
Nice.
The reason I say is because she's in your town, which Lockhart's not very big, right?
Oh, really? I didn't know she was in Lockhart.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was any other YouTubers in Lockhart.
I'm pretty sure it's her. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
She was further west. I thought she was out west. But
Maybe I'm wrong then. Somebody told me Lockhart, and I'm pretty sure that's what I understood. Maybe,
somebody told me she was from El Paso or somewhere, like out west Texas.
who knows? Maybe she was from there. I don't know.
Did
The
you,
last I heard was she was in Lockhart, and that's Josh. Lockhart is like south,
Southeast of Boston.
Yeah,
Okay.
southeast. But like if you, so there's a corridor called I-35, and
Yeah.
if you go south, that's San Antonio. If you go north, you got to hit Waco before you get to like Dallas Fort Worth area, and it's a long ride. 35 stinks.
dude, did you have your logo on your coffee mug?
Yeah.
Look at you, man.
I got my coffee mug.
Big time.
It's actually, I had it up on my Teespring, but they messed up my mugs. They put my logo on there twice, so I'm trying to get it redone, and I'm redesigning all my stuff.
No, man, you take those messed up ones and you make them exclusive and you charge 20 more bucks.
I only got two, one for me and one for my wife.
There you go. I was going to tell you to switch it. That's the layout for the 3. That's the good
I was
layout.
gonna say it works best, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks better that way.
I mean, I was gonna ask you guys, even though I'm doing the live, but it's like I was like, this seems to feel better somehow. You know, it's like a truck. That was like, here we're a little too close.
That's a little bit of Brady Bunch. It was.
But I'm a storage unit buyer, really, and I'm in it for the treasure hunt. I do reselling, and I hang out on a lot of reselling channels.
Yeah,
but I'm in it
because you're a reseller, right?
What I do on my channel is more the treasure hunt more than the reselling side.
Yeah.
But I hang out with a lot of resellers, and a lot of that's because I do a lot of bulk lots and auctions to get rid of stuff. So I want resellers coming to my channel to check it out. So,
Man, I wish you
a lot of the stuff that I find in the units, I'm selling to other resellers because I get so much in one storage unit. I couldn't list everything I get in one unit. It would take me a whole year to list one unit.
Yeah, I do some estate clean outs, and like I can do one estate clean out and that'll get me usually 300 listings easy.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah, especially if you can find like quick, easy scans that are, have some decent comps and stuff that rolls. Yeah.
The best one I ever hit was I was probably only doing reselling for about 2 months. I had a friend of mine. She said, my sister passed away like a year ago and I'm finally going to clean the house out. The sister had sat at home and all she did was QVC and Amazon shopping. Never opened a thing.
Wow.
I heard you talk about that one. That was you?
The whole garage was just full of, like, I could walk up to everything and scan it. And she was like, give me a price on how many items. And I didn't count at the time. I think she said $215 is what we settled on. $215, and I got 370 items.
What?
370 items.
You never opened much of it, huh?
Oh, I have 2 totes I haven't even gone through, like, to this day. I made my money back in the first 5 listings.
Isn't that wonderful?
So it's just, and then she's been a good resource connection for me because she's like, hey, there's more stuff in the attic. Let me get it all situated and then we can do it again. And I was like, okay, but I'm looking for a good storage unit connection up my way, man. Cause like what you're doing, James, that's just so smart because you're finding the stuff, that you want to go after, but you've probably got a ton of items. Like I'm known as a shoe guy. I want all the guys that do storage units to go like, you got shoes? I'll buy them in a bulk, like bring a truckload,
I actually have 3 crates of shoes I've got to go through sitting over in my storage right now.
See?
And some of them are all chewed up and not in very good shape. Some of them are probably in good shape and good to list. And I list some, I list a little bit of everything on my store, but
That's what I was going to ask. You still sell shoes, right?
but I hate listing clothes just because of all the measurements and everything. It takes me way too long to list clothes.
So do you have a guy yet? Like, or, for specific, like, I don't want to deal with that. So do you have people?
I have a few people. Well, I have people ever since I started doing it. And that's part of why I started YouTube. When I started YouTube, it was because I had so many. I was already watching YouTube videos anyway. That's how I learned how to do a lot of what I'm doing. But I had so many people come to me asking what I was finding. And I was like, I can't go through the full inventory of one unit, much less, the 4 or 5 I just bought.
Yeah.
So I started doing YouTube videos to showcase and highlight, the stuff that I was finding.
Really? That's a good way to network.
I've got a list that I'm just building of people local to me that are like, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this. If you find this stuff, so as soon as I find that stuff, I'm on the phone with those people. And then
awesome.
YouTube auctions. I've been around the YouTube auction community for several months. And so I know certain people at certain auctions are looking for certain things. So I look for those kind of items. I have a unit I'm bidding on right now that's got a whole bunch of stuff that I know. I'm sitting there going through the thing, and I was telling my wife, I said, okay, I can get this much for this at this auction. I can take that stuff right there to this auction, and I can sell it there. So I'm looking at my profiling my unit based on where I can sell it on my YouTube auctions because I know who's buying what where.
Exactly. I was at an estate sale, James. It was on the 183 side. It's west of Mopac there in the north part, probably a little bit past Jacksonville. And it was a really good. It was like 50 years of collecting. I don't know if you go to estate sales, and I'm sure you don't need to if you're doing the storage. But when I was up there, the whole time there, it's like 50 years. I'm just thinking, imagine if the stuff was thrown in a storage shed, and it was like, it was tons and tons and tons of good stuff.
The downside to the storage units right now in this area anyways, there's so many people that can't source. Like you said, there's some of the thrift stores that are open, some that aren't, some of them. I went to our Goodwill just the other day. My wife and I went in there 2.5 hours, and I walked out with 3 items because that store had already been picked clean. And there was like 5 or 10 other resellers because they were sitting there looking up comps as they were looking at stuff. So I knew exactly what they were doing. And I walked out with 3 items, and they weren't the best. I got 3 T-shirts that were some like comic book T-shirts and stuff.
So you do go to thrift shops and stuff, and just
I do some thrifting, some yard sales, but I mainly do storage units. But right now the storage units, because there's so many people that are having struggles sourcing other ways, they're buying storage units, and there's a lot of people that are there's still some people, like I know a lot of people in our area that are still on furloughs, that are still there, even though they've opened it up, with the government allowing people to go back to work. There's a lot of businesses that aren't going back to work.
Yeah, there's different angles that are going on right now, and what have you. And it's like, do you or don't you? And it's like, well,
so
your opportunities.
The prices are going absolutely insane. I have units that I could get for like $200 or $300 6 months ago that right now are going for $1,000. And I've got to be able to make
the time to do it. If you can afford to, if you have enough cash flow going, which I think we always will. We just got to list our death piles.
That's my issue right now is I'm trying because I took 4 months off. I just came back to work about a month ago. And I had shut down my eBay store. I shut down everything I had online. I hadn't done any auctions because my wife was sick and there was a lot of other stuff going on in our family. Yeah. And I just came back. So I'm building my eBay store back up, and I'm getting stuff relisted and getting stuff worked on right now.
Did you have to take all the listings and you had to delete them to take that time off?
Well, I probably didn't have to. But me being the idiot that I am and being so new and not knowing what I was doing, that's how I did it.
So there was a pause setting, supposedly. So I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, there's a vacation mode setting, but I didn't know anything about that until after I had already deleted it.
That's everything. A long time. But it's like if you're in a situation where you don't know if you need to take more time. Like if you're taking
it was
a month.
There was a lot. part of it was I didn't intend to take 4 months off when I took off. I was hoping it was going to be like a week or two, and then other things happened, and then COVID broke out, and everything just
the way
absolutely insane for
the way
several
that you
months.
did it, though, James, was probably for that time period. It was a better way because even vacation mode, all it does is people can still buy from your store, and if you aren't in a position to like still pack orders and
Yeah, see, that was part of this.
vacation,
COVID broke out and everything, and I wasn't too worried about the COVID myself, but my wife actually got the COVID virus, and my concern because we're very sensitive. We have a special needs daughter,
right?
We've been watching, what's going on, and a lot of the kids that have my daughter's condition have wound up in the ICU if they've gotten COVID and stuff.
Right.
So we're very sensitive to the people that are actually the higher risk people. And my whole thought and what my wife and I discussed was we can't tell what that person on the other side, what their risk factors are. She had COVID. We had a positive test. We couldn't take the risk of sending it to somebody that could have that high risk factor and could put them in an ICU. Even though she's a mild case and she was able to deal with it at home, the person on the other end of that package may not have been. And all the postal workers that had to go through between here and there and everything else. So we just
that's just it. There's so many unknowns right now. We do have some, in terms of scientific understanding, we do know we can surmise that there are asymptomatic people, but what degrees are there? Like if there's an older person that's asymptomatic, still, like what level of it are they exuding?
Yeah, and we just lost a family member just a couple of weeks ago to the COVID virus. And she was elderly. She had asthma, and she got it, and she went up in the ICU. She went up on a ventilator, and her body.
She was highly, what do you call it, at risk.
And that was what my wife and I discussed. Is we don't know what the person on the other end of that order. They may be in that same position. They may have that high risk factor. So we just shut it all down.
I'm glad that you're conscious of that because there's a lot of people there. It's just, I'm not, I don't want to talk about it and like sound judgmental, but like I go into the stores and then I keep hearing these new reports that children are most definitely able to be, contagious to this and they can get it. Then I'm seeing, moms are wearing a mask, but kids are not. And I'm like, I'm just trying to understand,
Yeah. I mean, I think the majority of people, honestly, it's not as big of a deal as the news has made it out to be. But at the same time, if you're in those minority groups that have the high risk factors, it can be deadly very quickly.
Well, and that's just it because, there's like such a spectrum. They can be extreme to the extreme, anxiety about it, or just what are the common sense needing, things that we need to do just to kind of get past this right now. Is it
right there? Common sense. And James, I commend you, man. You used wisdom. No eBay sale is as important as taking care of your family. And that's what I said. It might have been a little more to shut the whole thing down, but God forbid, you closed your computer, even on, like I said, vacation mode. I took my vacation. It doesn't stop your sales. It just says I could leave a note that says, "Hey, you just won't get your package for 8 days."
Yeah.
You wouldn't want that over your head, and sales aren't going out, and you can't move stuff. And I said, you're doing good. You're getting back into the grind, man.
I'm getting back into it. I'm rebuilding. Like I said, right now I'm rebuilding my eBay store. That's kind of my primary focus. I've got a few auctions I'm still doing. I'm hoping my goal. I was given a challenge by Danica over at Lady Junk the other day. So my goal by the end of next month, the first of Q4, is to have 700 items up on my eBay store.
Good. You know what, dude? Then I'll bust your ass. I'll email you on Instagram or what? Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm Storage Scavenger everywhere. Facebook, Instagram. I
think we're friends. Yeah, I get all these, I'm trying to. Josh has talked about this, I think, on Emily's channel once, and I know other people do. Is I try to be a steward of my, coworkers, of my friends and my family. And one of my things I get up every morning, I ask, okay, what are you grateful for? Sometimes I go, it's not what am I am grateful for this, and then I have a responsibility chart aim to take tasks. And what's one person I need to call, that probably I haven't spoken to in a while, where's my responsibility? And like, if I call them a friend and I think back, oh yeah, that guy's been great. This guy's, or, I've had friends who they bailed me out of jail. I'm like, well, when's the last time you spoke to them? It's like, where's your friendship there?
No, that's so good that you said that, man. You just made me do something that I try to do all the time. So it's 1 a.m. It's about my bedtime. But one thing from so many months ago, Emily says, I have a terrible time. She gets in her own head and she won't go to sleep. So I'll go right on Instagram and I'll see if that green dot's next to her. And I just message her and I go to bed. But she goes, thank you. I'm putting my phone down. She said, because she'll sit up all night and then she feels bad the next day because she's tired. And I do. And dude, it's so funny you said that. Every day, part of my like quiet time, my prayer time, is that's what I do. I pick somebody in this community and I just reach out to them. Just same time every day.
We can get so narcissistically kind of caught up in our own evolution, just like what this day supposedly is so important, and when we're not really doing what we can be doing and what we. I'm not going to ever say should, but what is you always do what's needed first. You eat, you do your priorities, and then as far as your job goes, you get your packages done, but also like, where are you on your, your categorical, like, what would be in my best interest? Well, have I called mom in a while? Unless you're a daily talker, with your parents or something, but have I, and then it's like you meet folks like y'all and it's like, okay, what's going on? I did that. I'm not going to say who. And I know that they've been very quiet on YouTube for a while.
Yeah. And
where are you? I heard your voice in the video, but I didn't see you. What's going on?
Yeah. We reached out to a few people in that area. And that's kind of like why I do my channel the way I do it. I know you've seen it. I've seen some of your comments on there, man. It's like, if I don't do a video where I get to talk about my family or highlight that or to engage with that, I'm like, it's so vital that reselling is what's brought everybody together. But like you just said, James, I just learned so much about your family. Like, that's what I want to know. I'm going to love to see your sales. Like, that's going to be incredible. But
but you're going to remember him. You're going to remember him. And that
I want to remember James is doing this. He wants to keep providing for his wife. He wants to take care of his daughter. Like, there's a story behind the sale. That's the cool part.
Yep. And like, sometimes because I do live hopping sometimes. That's one of the things I've been doing for the last several months. So I'll go to people's lives and jump on and stuff. And sometimes I'll be sitting here and I'll be on a live with my daughter in my lap.
Yeah.
And,
that's awesome. That's good. I love when, I'm a dad. And one thing I've learned in life, and YouTube, it's helped me, but out in the real world, it's like, that's the connections you make with people. Like, I see so many people at church and they go, I've seen you, but I always ask about, how's your child doing? Oh, thank you for asking, and I'm like, no, and they're like, oh, oh, you're a dad too. Yeah.
Here's another gift. So you guys get the sneak peek. So I found this. This is Legoland, California.
Oh, I saw you talk about that. You give it
1998. Yep, because guess whose name's on it?
Yep.
And the reason I wanted to go to him is like, I've always wanted to tell him thank you because he does so many vital things. He's like, here's my goal. We pay for one vacation for my family, and I put away money so that my kids can go to college. I can retire without leaning on, pulling so much money out of the bank. Like, when I hear him talk about his goals and why he stays at a part-time level, he's like, my full-time job pays for my insurance, does all this. I do this to send my kids to college, to take care of my family, to do these things. And I'm like, thank you. Yes, you're super good at all your information, but thank you that you will put the camera down to take care of your family.
Yeah, he dropped a video today, and I love his interaction between his child and.
Yeah, he's like, I can't put him on. He doesn't have clothes on. I'll wait till he gets some clothes on. And I'm like,
I heard that.
But it's that kind of stuff that I'm like, I try to
But
do.
you can tell how sincere he is. It's by the choice of words he uses.
Yep.
You know, he's articulate enough, but he's also like he's sensitive enough to like say, I don't know something, you know, or whatever. Yep. But at the same token, he's like, oh, hold on, you know, and he takes care of his, you know, number one priority.
Like, yeah, hold on, my kids. Sorry, it's so noisy. My kids are beating on the door. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think he gets more ticked off at the chimes than he does his kids, you know.
Or the light on his porch that keeps shutting off while he's talking.
You know what we're talking about, James?
Part-time pickers. Check him out.
Dude, you gotta watch him.
Video
part-time pickers. Yeah.
Every day. And like we've been chatting a little bit on Instagram and stuff, man. He's helped me out with just a lot of thought processes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've watched his videos. I haven't actually met him yet.
Oh, dude, he hit me up and he says, "Hey, man, just subscribe to your channel." And I was like, "Can I share this? Can I tell people?" I'm like, "What are you doing, Matt? You're not supposed to." No, but he was so good.
A bromance moment.
Well, no. Have you heard the story on how part-time pickers became what it was?
I don't know if I remember that one. I don't know.
Lonnie at Shed Flips.
Okay.
It was like, this dude's cool. Go watch his channel. That's all that happened. And Matt was like, he says, I've been doing the same consistent stuff every single day. I love my favorite thrift store. And he goes, my channel blew up this. He goes, I still like hanging out with the little community. Because when you get so big, you can't talk to your people in your videos anymore.
Yeah, like, he was on like I don't know. He shows up once in a while. Like I think he came to Tommy and Tracy's talk one night. Yeah, he popped in there like, get out, he's here. I'm like,
yeah, he jumps on Cats. He jumps on her Tuesday night. He jumped on a Tuesday night. Well, he won't go live with anybody. I did ask him that, and he goes, nope.
Yeah, but you know, I get that from him because I grew up in California. I think he's a true Californian. He hasn't said where he's born or anything. You want to hear something? I live not far from where he does.
Yeah,
I was born in San Jose.
Nice.
Yeah, he's like north of where I was, and so I kept hearing in his videos. And I was like, I know he's in California, but this dude is like popping over to Modesto, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I went, oh, okay, I saw, and I just realized his highway is straighter shot from where I used to drive from San Jose to where he would go, and I'm like, and I used to live there too, and it's, you know, it's a weird place to go pick, but there's a lot of neighborhoods there.
But
he drives far.
Well, that's what I said. The whole thing is just like he's still honorable, respectful. He loves the inner community. He loves the reseller community, and like he's just like, dude, if that dude hadn't shouted me out, he goes, I'd be down here with the 1,200 subs. And
that's just it. So his integrity it appears in one form that I've noticed. That's my observation, and that is he doesn't take it for granted. He does not take this for life. No. He doesn't take every word that comes out of his mouth, and I'm like, okay, and it's not as a form for like I'm trying to judge him, either good or bad. Yeah. I can hear his truth come out and going.
You're trying to read him, yeah.
Thankful I'm doing this, and this is, you know, he's just this dude just grinding it out, you know, and he does grind it out.
He doesn't put any flash or pizzazz. He's very to the point.
And most of his videos aren't really, you know, showing like going and thrifting. It's just this is what sold, and he
did start another channel because he was tired of like alternating his videos on his channel. So he started his second channel is now just the sourcing stuff, and then Part-Time Pickers is just the sold stuff.
I haven't seen the other channel of his. Yet.
It helps him divide it. Like I think it's Lonnie or whoever, one of the guys that, you know, they're just like it helps them focus. Like here's my garage sale or sourcing.
Yeah,
whatever it is. He's just a sourcing, and then the other one is more of his formulaic. Like here is a reseller. This is what's sold, and this is why I do this, and yada yada. You know. But
let me look it up.
Yeah, I texted him one time too, and like. Because I kept saying, where are you going when you're camping? And I said, because my dad would take us to a cabin up, and it was really close to where I think he went. And like I was telling you, Josh, like I love nature. I love the mountains and stuff like that. And, you know, just getting out.
Oh, so me too.
James. What are you doing tomorrow?
Me?
Yeah, listing or
Listing and I don't know if you've ever heard of them. It's Sean Cannell at Think Media. They teach YouTubers how to YouTube. They're doing a 7-day. They're doing a 7-day video influence challenge right now, and I've been involved in that all week. It ends on Tuesday. So, but my wife's been in the hospital all week. She just got home yesterday, and so
Hi guys.
hey.
So I missed a few of the sessions during the challenge, and they're taking the day off for Sunday. So I'm gonna play catch up on the sessions that I missed during the week.
Okay. Did you have to pay up for that or?
No, it was a free deal. Of course, they're promoting one of their paid programs.
Yeah.
But it's been 7 days of strategies, and like today they were talking about thumbnails and how to improve your thumbnails, how to improve your titles, how to improve your keywords, all that kind of stuff. And it's going through basically the overall strategy, and every day they're taking a different part of the strategy.
That's awesome because you're even if you think you may know it or just you can kind of figure it out yourself when you're there.
Oh, it's been huge. I've got like pages and pages of notes, and like I said, I missed a couple of the sessions, but I've got pages and pages of notes. And like,
did you make any contact with anybody there? Like, did you get an email from anybody, or did you meet up with anybody? You can like go, hey, I want to, like when you're in class, hey, can I get your number so, I can ask you a question about these notes if I messed up, it's something. Or there's
a few people we've kind of, because it's being done through a private Facebook group. So I'm connected on Facebook with several people.
Yeah, you can reach out to them.
And and it's been great. And I've connected with several people. There's actually a couple of other resellers that are just starting their channels that are in there, and I've already connected with them. So
that's
I would
awesome.
say, Louie, like check him out. The channel's called Think Media.
It's Think Media.
Think Media is the YouTube channel. He goes live probably like once a week.
Every week.
He does?
And he does like 5 tips to get your view times from 20% up to 47%. And he goes, here's just 5 quick tips.
Wow.
5 tips. It's an hour-long live, but then they put out good content on cameras to use.
I just need to hear it so I can understand it in theory. And then you go, okay, now how do I figure that out? And
he also, on top of the YouTube strategy and all that stuff, he also does with his Think Media channel, because he's got like 5 channels that he runs. With Think Media, they do YouTube strategies, but they also do a lot of tech reviews. So like cameras, how to set up if you record with your cell phone, how to set up your cell phone for better recording. Everything in my studio I got because of following them. And I don't have a high-end studio, but they do high-end stuff to low-end stuff.
Oh, he's got a whole video on how to do YouTube videos in under $100.
Yep.
How to set up your whole room for under $100.
I'm gonna go listen because I need a speaker. I do got a new computer, and I gotta just once I clear up my master bedroom is actually my eBay room. So it's crazy. It's like what I know. I have a flat. I don't know. You guys know what a flat file is? Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
There's his
book.
Is that it? Oh, that's what. Okay. I know. I think where I heard about him was on Instagram too.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's where I first.
In the creator space, he's all over the place. I mean, he's on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
But what's good is you can take the videos that apply. You can skip the ones that don't. He tries to keep it as wide of a spectrum with the total focus of, do you want to grow what you're doing? And do you want to get better?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do some stuff and you're like, I'm not going to be a travel vlogger, so I don't need this camera with the cat microphone and the cat tail and all this. He's like, cool. Or do you want to use this video that's like, get a ring light for $30, get a selfie stick, tape it to a wall and start recording,
He'll give you efficiency, effectiveness, and affordability.
And in the lives, he gets, I think there's like 200 to 300 people that jump in the live. So it's a fast moving live, but he tries to do Q&A on there. He tries to, like, if he sees reoccurring questions, he tries
to. Sometimes he'll do his live that's like 30 to 45 minutes, and then he'll spend 2 hours answering questions in the chat.
Yeah.
How long has he been doing?
If you miss the live, they cut that Q&A session out and just leave the video.
He started 12 years ago. He was doing social media for his church. So he worked for a church.
Yep.
And then
okay.
He grew it on the tech side of stuff. So like he was able to learn a lot of the tech industry. And then he and a buddy started learning how to gain viewers on there, especially through Instagram, through YouTube.
But so it sounds like he has a deep understanding of like what it is for networking and what for us. But also
he watches the changing algorithm as well, which is really good.
Yep.
So he knows the ins and outs, like you said, the tech aspect.
Yep.
That's him to know that. But also I guess what I'm trying to say is how am I going to put this? So it's just like, how do you integrate the reality of, of us being social beings into the technology, to like what we're doing now, but how do you improve upon that? And how do you, make it more effective? And also in our case, like, dudes like us that are really starting out, if you look at it, we're in the infancy stages if we're not,
Yep.
Right.
But I've been watching his videos and just his basic YouTube videos. I've learned a lot. That's how I've grown as much as I have in the last year. I've been on YouTube for a year, and yeah, I'm at 700 subscribers, and I know some people that have a whole lot more than I do in less time, but I know a lot of people that have been struggling for a year that don't even have 200 or 300 subscribers yet.
But let me ask you this. So like, do you look at it as, this is how I want to look at it is I'd rather have the few that I have that are going to constantly follow me, and be consistent and be faithful, in the sense that I'm offering you what I can give you. And if you benefit from it, I'm grateful, and I'm happy for you. But
yeah, and I appreciate, and like, I go live and I get maybe 10 to 20 people that come in on my lives every time. And then I might get some fluctuation, but I've got like those solid core 10 to 20 people that are there every time I go live, and they'll be there from start to finish, and I can count on them showing up. And then I'll have, other people that come and go as well. And it's the same thing, and I do video premieres, and it's the same thing. Those same people will be there. If I'm doing a premiere, I know they'll be there no matter what else is going on.
And it's so hard, especially for us too. And it's like, as parents and life, as we were talking, so how do you go to all these things? And like I see a lot of them. Once in a while, I just go, I can't.
You don't. You don't. It's the best and worst advice that nobody wants to hear. Don't.
Yeah.
I schedule the ones that I'm gonna go to.
It just perfectly said like that. I schedule it because I'm scheduling it. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna watch Cat. I'll watch one night of Tracy and Tommy, and that's the night that I list hard because their live is so long that I turn the computer on, I shove it over to the side, I'll chat every like 10 minutes. I'll be like, haha, that's funny, or I'll say a joke. Yeah. But then what I'll do is
I'll have it on like on my TV or my computer, and I usually walk around the house. I'll go in the back room with my phone and kind of semi listen to it there. And if I want to say something to that, maybe.
Other ones I've had people like personally ask me, hey, come check out this video I did, and I'm like, no problem, I'll do it. But I'm not just, unless I'm listening and I need some background noise, I'm not going like, because I'll waste so much time that is work time.
Well, yeah. How much? It's like you said, if you're scheduling something, it's what can you afford?
Yep.
Well, the other thing is you're either going to be a content consumer or a content creator. And if you're
and I don't mean this with disrespect,
your work,
am I going to distract myself from what my aim is? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I heard what you said, Louis. You're exactly right. It's the same thing in reselling. There's a lot of people that are resellers that haven't sold anything. They just buy. They're buyers. And I'm like, no, save the inventory for the reseller. Like, don't just buy it all. If you're not going to list it, let me list it. But it's the same thing in YouTube. It's if that's your drive and goal, I know how many videos I want to put out a week, and then that knows how much time I'm going to spend on YouTube to be entertained or to get ideas. If I don't schedule that, then I'll do it lackadaisical, and you'll see it.
I'm glad you're saying that because I'm hoping somebody walks in on this one day, and that does buy a lot. Maybe they don't need to.
Yeah.
I'm on that fine line a lot. But what I did was I did play this trick on myself one day, and I went, "Why the hell are you here? You know, like why are you really here? Where do you need to be right now?" That's my favorite question from myself. Where are you right now? Like where do you need? Which means where do you need to be? And I'm like, oh crud, yeah, I don't want to be here, you know. And it's like I'm at a thrift store, and it's not even a thrift store I care about, you know.
Oh no.
And so it's like, oh okay, you know.
Well, it's gonna take a lot for me to set it up and film, but you know, one of my videos in the next 2 weeks, right? I'm gonna grab my giant IKEA bag and I'm gonna source my death pile, and I'm gonna show all the stuff I sourced for the day. Like I'm gonna be like, yeah, and I found this and I found this, and I'm like, oh man, that was so cool. And then I'm just gonna move the camera, like, yeah, it was all here on the floor. It was just all sitting here in my house doing nothing. I'm gonna source my death.
What I was saying is when I ask why am I here, if I go in there, I went, okay, I'm here to source. Do you need a source? And I've heard so many different perspectives on yes, but you know, I want the, you know, I need more meat. I need, you know, I don't want the little thing. And I'm like, okay, you get to buy 5 things because I'm limiting, you know, you got this limit of money, but also I'm going to buy specifically what I buy, I have to list that night. And also what I'm buying is going to be, I'm going to be picky. It can't just be, you know, my under my threshold.
Smart.
Luis.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing much, man. Just hanging in, just listening to your guys' conversation, man.
We're just
a lot of truth to everything you guys are talking about.
Cool.
No, I like what you just said, though, Louie. I like that you just said, I think that's so smart for people to do because it's kind of like if you work all the time and you budget your money, you do need an entertainment budget, okay? I think people have to do that sourcing as well. Go in with a strategy. So me, I hit 3 spots over and over and over. That's what I do. But I'll go through the hard goods because I want to find at least 3 items that I don't know about, that I did see a cool eBay comp, and I want to go research them. But I don't want to do that with 20 items. I want to do that with 3.
So, and you can use that as like your exercise time.
Yep.
Whether like you're exercising here, you don't have to buy something, but you can go to like do research and go, I didn't know about that. Or, you know, and like the other day I went to an estate sale. It became about 10-15% socializing, and I made a contact. Now, whether that person reaches back out, I don't know, but they got my card, and I told him, I said, if you're ever looking for, and he told me what he's looking for. I said, oh, here's my card, you know, reach out to me. And if I see it, give me your number. I will text you if I find this musical equipment, you know, because he was like, and he was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, here's my card, you know. He probably saw my YouTube channel and said, nah, I'm not contacting this guy.
I went to a thrift store today. I went to hang out with some friends. We went and did the Top Golf stuff. And when I got done, I was in a part of town that I'm used to. Thrift store was 4 minutes away. And I said, never been in here. Let's go check it out. Yeah. They had 2 extra totes that I needed, which was awesome. Nice. They had a pack of VHS blanks to go with my combo units.
Nice.
So I was like, sweet. And then my one weird item, I said, let's go through the hard goods. I heard through the grapevine that somebody says if you find glasses cases, I have no idea what that logo is. No idea. Guess what? It had a name. Dude. Cases go for $35. Frames go for $60.
But
dude, I want to do that with one item.
Friday tonight, he did a live on, or he did a premiere. Roy Arcade Treasures. And one of the first things he brought, he was like, him and his wife were there to get Kim. And I'm like, that's nice because I don't see his wife come in all the time because she's busy. But they set all their stuff down on the table, and one of his big things was eyeglass holders.
Yeah, it was 2 of them sitting side by side. I paid $225. You know, but for me, this is the knowledge thing. I want to see what their listing, their sitting time is. They're low space takers, you know. So I love that. But then if they sit for a whole while, then I'm going to be very picky if I pick them up the next time. You know, it's not going to go, I'm going to go buy the next 20 phone cases I find, you know.
That's just it. You know, I went in my last video. I wish I was, you know, I'm working on editing and I'll get that worked out one day but I just said, just show what you bought. So I went through and did a couple walkthrough and so I went to my card and 3 of those things that day. Cause remember, my goal is whatever you buy, you have to list when I go home. So I have death piles, but whatever I buy now from this point on, if I don't list it, forget it.
Yeah.
You know? So I listed it all 5. No, it was 4 because I kept one. But 3 of them sold right away and good money too. I was like, okay.
I know. I just had a stupid good sale that my wife was listing, and it just came in, and I was like, that's like my nightcap. That's the go to bed. I was like, it was a cha-ching. She just listed it 2 hours ago.
Nice.
Did she get tickled about that? Does she like this stuff?
Oh yeah. When she sees that, so she uses the app also.
Okay.
So what she'll create for me, especially with my shoes, because I have a ton, if she's watching like Netflix, I'll drop off 10 shoes for her. She creates all the listings, does the whole, saves it as a draft. All I have to do is come throw the photos in. That's it. So we have a good little system, but now with all the clothing, she knows that I buy clothes and I hate listing clothes. So we have a separate photo booth.
Careful with that word.
It was a vintage, so single stitch Riddler t-shirt.
Okay.
With a DC Comics tag. And so I said, this should be pretty good. Let's just see what it does. She goes, there's one sold and it had stains on it for $35. I said, throw it up for 50 and see if it gets a bite.
But she put it 65, she would probably have sold it.
Oh, I know, but I was like, I paid $250. I'm good. Like,
yeah. I kind of have that philosophy too, where I don't like to lowball all the time everybody else, but like if I have a one of a kind item, I'm gonna play that game a little bit, you know, and say now I work. My job is the time, energy, the time, and people don't look at that. You know, resellers. Oh, you guys must have fun. It's a nice hobby. Okay, why don't you go out with me for one day? I'll buy you lunch. Be with me one day, but you got to stay the whole time. You're gonna see hours of struggle and tired. I get up at 6:30 sometimes to go find.
Oh yeah.
A sale, whatever, and then. I don't get home till like almost 12 hours later. It's like 10 hours. It's like 4 o'clock, you know?
Hey, this is my first time meeting you, Louie. What do you specialize in, man?
I sell pretty much on Mercari right now. I used to sell on eBay, and I stopped selling on eBay when Mercari, was new, and I switched over to Mercari. So I've been selling on Mercari. I pretty much sell anything and everything that I could sell, anything from video games to knick-knack, and anything that I can make a profit.
Everybody's been trying to get me to go to Mercari, and I'm like, for me right now, I'm okay. I started it, I got the account, but I'm like, and they sell everything on there, huh?
Yeah, they do. I mean, I've been doing good things too. Yeah,
I wanted to go to Mercari. I did the same thing. I started it, and I bought this huge lot of the wrestling figures. I did that video with Jimmy. And he was like, dude, list them all one by one. Well, I got bored, so I started listing them on eBay, dude, and I'm selling probably 10 a week. And I got 90 of them.
The wrestling figures sell like crazy. I had a box of 36 of them, and I got rid of them, I think, in a week. So they do sell.
Grab something that I got the other day. I found
this is all the unlisted.
Those are crazy. Are they vintage?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the vintage ones sell really well.
As my daughter would say, I'm feeling jelly right now.
Yeah, there's a 1999 Vince McMahon.
Love it.
Yeah.
With the suit on.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. That's 96.
Oh, yeah. You should have no problem getting rid of those.
Yeah, it's just I try to list like 15 a day.
Yep.
Kishi, man. Yeah. But like, and that was what I was gonna start Mercari with, was trying to like get, especially because I've heard toys do really well on there.
Yeah, I saw a lot of toys on Mercari.
I still might have
you should
to
give it when you get some time to do it. I mean, I've sold new toys, used toys, even toys that are missing like arms or legs and all that stuff sells.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I'm glad you said that because I found a vintage 80s He-Man or something like that. And all I got is like it's so up. And I'm like, I'm not gonna let this sit there in the store, you know. The lady gets, and here's the quarter. Body parts. It's, you know. Somebody said like you got to try Mercari, and I'm like, well, so I didn't confess. So I don't just do eBay, but I do I need to get back on my Grail game. I'm really behind. I need to list all my hats. I got like super vintage caps and stuff.
Me too, man. And I haven't even like messed with Grail.
It's awesome, but you know, there's different things you can do on there too. But I also do Depop, and I kind of understand the demographic there, and I really built it as a base for my daughter. I was hoping she'd get in the game. She's still resistant right now, but I said, hey, the count's there. If you ever change your mind, because Depop is perfect for her generation. ZJ,
Yeah.
You know, and I see someone, and this kid goes, why don't you try it? I'm like, yeah, I'm too old for that. He's like, no, dude, you would kill it because you know the business. And it's, for what I know that goes there, it fits in and you sell it quick, you know.
I have probably 200 vintage hats that I haven't even like. I've opened the boxes to look at them.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Why don't you do this? Here. I'm going to challenge you, Josh. Like you told me a little while ago.
Yeah.
Like, you make an appointment. Why don't you set a date? Set a date on in your book, in your calendar, in your agenda. And like, let's just say by November 3rd or whatever, I'm just, you know, go list 10 if you can do 10. If you list 5, great. But if you can just get on there, and if you need to talk to Tim, you know, or one of the other guys that, you know, and even Calvin knows about it now, you know, he's doing his thing. Mm-hmm. It's rich because if you sell a hat for $50, I mean, and I got some prime stuff. Like I found this jacket the other day that would sell perfect on Grail. I don't like Grail, and I showed it to Tim. Tim was like, "Sell it on Grail." Tank, you know, Chernock. It's like, sell it on Grail, and it was like this jacket was one of those windbreakers that are like really light, from the 70s, early 70s, and it's got like all these patches all over it.
Dude, that's awesome.
One of them says like 75, 74. All of it's the NRA. It's crazy. It's just like, it's so, pardon the term, it's so like perfect hipster. It's like, it's shabby chic hipster. It's like killer. It is like, I think it's probably like $200 waiting to be sold.
I've got boxes and boxes, man. I bought them all off of High Bid, man. I bought them off of High Bid auctions. The crappier the photo, the better deal I got on it, man.
He's like, give me a blurry photo. I want a better deal.
Yeah, it was blurry, and all they did was open the top of the box, and all you could see was the bottom of the hats. And the guy said, I think it's 20 or so. That's literally, that's what it says. Auction for over like 20 or so.
Oh, you said the perfect word. I love when you like communicate with somebody. I think, I'll buy it. You know, just give me the deal.
So it was up for auction.
Give it to me.
All the pristine looking hat boxes, you know, where all they're laid and their brims are all up together. Oh yeah, those 20 hats were going for like $230, $240. I got this box for $45, and I paid $16 to get it shipped in. It had 58 hats in it. That was the first one. And I was like, okay, what else does this guy have? I was like, come on, bring some more.
You know, and you got to roll the dice, because even if you come out and you go, oh, crud, I just bought a dunker, you know, and you're like, yeah, you know what? You don't know sometimes. And it's
no, I take a gamble to get the bigger stores, though.
No, I scored big. I listed, so I'm going to lie, I did list one hat because I did the box opening with Calvin. And he said, go back, hold that hat up again. And I said, what? And he goes, it was a Richard Petty STP hat.
Nice.
Patch hat.
He's got one I want. He won't sell it to me yet. I mean, I keep bugging him. It's an STP cap, but it's red and black. I love red and black. It's like,
oh, I got another one sitting over there, so I'll have to show it to you. I'll show it to you on Instagram. But he goes, list that right now. And I said, why? He goes, it's red, white, blue, 3 stripes, both sides, mesh trucker.
Oh, on the sides.
Yeah. And I said, are you sure, bro? And I said, what price? He goes, 150. No. 175. No, 200. I said, I'm gonna go 175.
No, he gets it. I remember when he was like, how much he was asking Tank or one of the guys, like, how much should I do that? He's doing that talk. They did like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, bro. He's like, and then you can see his brain. And I'm like, okay, Calvin's getting it. He's getting it now. It's like,
so I'm doing the live. I'm taking the photos like right here doing the live. And I go, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I go, list item from my walk from this office to the bedroom, which is 30 feet. It's sold. from this office to the bedroom.
Get
Like I
out.
got an email in a minute and 30 seconds, $175 full asking price. I was
Come
like,
on, man, you're full of ruins. That fast?
but then I went, should have done 200, Calvin. I was like,
No.
I know.
What did you just tell me a little while ago? You said you only paid $2 for it, and then you don't. But isn't that interesting? Because you can watch yourself. You get, I'm getting greedy. You know.
I know that. Well, that's why I was happy, dude. I messaged him on Instagram. I was like, dude, it's 1 a.m. I know we just finished talking. I was like, check this out. He said, I
He's
told
like,
you,
go
bro.
to bed.
He said, I told you. He said, I paid for your whole box. I said, yeah, it paid for the next 3.
Yeah, I had a limited edition print that I picked up at Goodwill, and I just, on an instinct, I picked it up, and it was like $7 or $8, something like that. And I was thinking, maybe I could sell this thing for like $20-$30, double my money, easy sale. Got it home, did the research. They were selling for $110 or $120. So I listed it. It was sold by the time I got up in the morning. I was like, damn, I undersold that. If it's sold that fast, I should have listed it for higher.
Yeah.
That's just what you said is like is the right, destination. What we don't want to do is get on the track sometimes and do a couple laps of listing. You got to have fun and you got to get in that car and cruise sometimes. And then you'll get more destinations. But it's like if you get it, you're pretty close to F1, right, James? You passed the track out there that we have.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty big track, and like to see those guys, bringing Europeans and like racing that track, it's loud, and it's like the part. So I'm learning, like, as a reseller, just get in that mode, get your coffee, pamper yourself if you need to real quick. It's it's like you said, Josh, you take that nap and you drink that coffee, and by the time you're ready to get up, you're going, and it's like, okay, do that, change your tires, whatever. It's like, get out there and just rip roar. And you're going to hear those cha-chings, because I know this week my aim, I got my 5 big ticket items that I don't know why I'm not listing them. One is like a $350 chess piece that's like crystal and stuff that I got. And it's like, list it. I want to get my rent up to 2 months in advance.
Yeah. Hey, well, there's my challenge back to you, because then I am going to jump off, because I'm 40 minutes past due, so I'm going to eat 40 minutes tomorrow. But a fun trick that I do, especially when you have like 5 to 6, let's say $150 items and up, I just make a goal of 1 a week, because I would love to see that residual, because you have them crappy sales weeks. Dude, I love it when I start to see that same track come in, when I'm like, boom, $200 sale this week. All right, it makes me list on that slow week even harder. It really does. But
you're feeding off of it.
Yeah, but to not overwhelm yourself, just pick a day during the week and go, I'm just going to list that one, because I get to now look at it. Now the pile's down to 4.
And you're going to just jump at it.
Yep. Yeah. And then when it sells, you're just excited.
I think I paid up, and I rolled the dice on it. It was like a box at this garage sale. It was those mannequins that you do CPR on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Had like a lot of them in there, but they weren't the good quality ones, but they were decent. Then she had all the booklets and the CD, and then she had the machines that go with it. I'm like, how much do you want for this? She's like, well, I paid $1,000. And I'm like, so I listened to her. I cut her off, and I went, okay, but they're used, right? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, is it all there? Yeah. And I'm like, well, I don't know. And I always use this like psychology. I go, I don't know if my buddy wants it. My buddy is me. And, and it's like, she's like, well, can I take a picture and send it to him? And really, I was looking up comps, and I just went at it, and I just went, oh, crud, this could be a good score. And she's like, I looked online, and I'm like, okay, she didn't look at comps though. So I looked at online, and it was like probably like $300-$400. And
oh no.
Pretty short. I went away, came back, and I said, you take 50 for it for my friend? She's like, yeah, I'll take 50.
No, I'll straight up show them eBay, because I hear that all the time. I saw online that it was selling for blah blah blah. I was like, cool. Let me show you this guitar pick that somebody wants $1 million for. Anybody can ask for any price.
Let me show you the comps. 3 months, nothing is sold.
Yeah, I'm like, because I've had better luck. Like, I use my neighborhood app, stuff like that, and I'm going, hey, I sell stuff online. I'm helping my wife get out of a job. I'm doing all this. guys, do you want to get rid of some crap? I'll give you cash. Like, I'll give you cash, and you don't have to haul it off.
I had one today where I had to pay up, and the lady knew she just was not going to budge. And it's like she had some really good. She had these gloves. I got 10 of them. So, and I love repeat. So you just sell it. They comped out at like a little under 30, like 25, 26. They're I'm trying to remember this. They're, what do you call this? It's yeah. You ever hear Youngstown? It's basically Kevlar gloves. They're like,
oh, nice.
They're really good ones.
Good
They're
quality.
all new. And I got two sizes, but I only got like a few larges and a bunch of mediums. And it's like, she's like, they're $6 each. I'm like, 6. I'm like, oh. I said, and I looked it up real quick. How much would you want for all of them? Well, if you buy 2, I'll give you 5 each. And I'm like, oh, come on, I want a better deal than that. Like, I'm like $50 for all of those. And I'm like, I went ahead and I said, okay, I tell you what, I'll take those Red Wing boots that you had over, because I looked up the comps on it. They were over 120. And then I said, you wanted 45? And yeah, she's like, well, I'm going to give you 40. I'm like, oh man, she like didn't even let me ask, And I was like, try to like, but I paid up. I was like, let me just get this stuff and go. I had to drive all the way to like a grocery store to go get cash because I was like so out. And it's like, dude, you better get to bed.
Hold on, I'm trying to add these guys. I'm trying to sub to their channel.
Oh,
yeah, man. I want to share some love.
Here we go. Yeah, you guys, who's ever in the there's a few people here. There's like 8 people watching. I guess that's
James, what's your channel again?
Storage Scavenger.
Yeah, man. Let me check you guys out.
Appreciate you, Josh. Thanks for stopping in, man.
No, man. Always, dude. I always appreciate it.
You got such good positivity. You're an asset to this community. You keep people straight. You got good questions. I hear you. I watch you. I try to come up. I can't stay up late all the time when you're up with Yakov.
Yeah. Yeah, we get to hang out a little late sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, man. No, I love meeting all you guys. Thanks, Luis. Thanks, James. Appreciate you. Bro. I'm gonna get to bed and get ready for a busy tomorrow, guys. I hope you guys crush it in sales tomorrow.
Thanks, man. You too, buddy.
Finish up the week.
Take it easy, man. Peace. What are you guys gonna do tomorrow? Are you guys sleeping in? I'm taking off tomorrow.
I don't ever get to sleep in. My daughter has a nurse that shows up between 7 and 8 in the morning, so I'm always up by then usually. So
you're an early bird? Because I'm an early bird.
No. I got somebody knocking on my door, so I'm forced to get up. But I'm not a morning person at all. My wife will tell you it takes me like 2 or 3 hours to wake up. But I'm a night bird. I'll stay up all night long. I used to work night shifts before I went to working on this.
We probably should get off here pretty soon because it's already 1 o'clock, dude. So Luis, James, I don't know how well you guys know each other. So you guys sub each other. I know you're not supposed to do stuff.
I'm always up to Lewis.
Yeah, same here. I saw the James channel already. Yeah.
Okay, good. You guys make great videos. You have good content. And so what I was gonna say is, Luis, he's not far from me. He's at 30 minutes from where I live.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm just down south of him just a little bit.
I went
right in between.
What's that? Go ahead, James.
I'm right off of 130 between San Antonio and Austin. So in my storage units, I can put in my 100-mile radius, and it basically gets me from Round Rock to just the south side of San Antonio.
Do you have an app you're talking about in terms of when you search for storage sheds that are for sale?
Most of our units around here have gone online since the pandemic. I mean, it was already headed that way, but almost everybody, so there's not hardly any live auctions going on around here right now.
So let me ask you this. Do you sit like we're doing and then you watch and they'll go and show you? Kind of like What the Hells?
Well, no. Well, they're doing theirs differently in different places, but I go to storagetreasures.com, which What the Hells is one of the ones that kind of helped me kickstart my channel.
No way, really?
Yeah. Back when I first started, I was watching them a long time, and then at Thanksgiving last year, the week before Thanksgiving last year, I was on another live with somebody else, and Grimes came on. Justin Grimes came on with them, and they invited people to come on, so I jumped in, and so I met Grimes there. Grimes invited me to come to his place the next weekend, which was the weekend after Thanksgiving, and Jeremy and George were at his place.
That's so cool. So you really got.
So I got to meet what the hell
that is, bro?
I got to meet Crocker's Lockers. I got to meet Because She Shed.
What?
And
Dude,
we all did a big collab that weekend, and I had 34 subs whenever I met them that weekend. At the end of that weekend, I was over 300.
That's
Nice.
That's crazy. Did you know that was going to happen?
I knew that he said there's going to be a few other people there, but he didn't say who it was. And
where was this, dude?
it was at Grimes' place in Dallas before it burned down.
Okay. When did that burn down? Is that this year or last year?
February or March. It was right before the COVID breakout. It was like a week and a half to 2 weeks before the COVID breakout is when his warehouse burned down.
You know how I found out about that?
If you go to my channel, you'll see the Texas Thrift Haul Throwdown. That was the collaboration we did that weekend.
Okay.
The first day we were playing with a smoke machine, so we smoked up his place and his fire alarms were going off and everything. So I titled my video "Fire at Grimes Finds Warehouse." Now people give me crap about making a video about a fire in his warehouse because his warehouse burned down like 4 months later. I said, but that video's been up 4 months before it happened.
Yeah. You know what? You're gonna, we're all gonna have haters at one point in our life, and just kind of go, listen.
Yep.
It is what it is. It's there,
But at that time, I had like 10 videos on my channel. I mean, I was really new. I just started my channel in October, and this all happened in November. So
okay.
But we went after we did all the videoing and everything that we did for that day. We went out to dinner with Jeremy and George and Grimes and Because She Shed and Crocker's Lockers, and we all sat down and we sat there and we talked about YouTube. Nice. And we talked about storage auction buying we closed the restaurant down. We were there at like 5:30 and we were there till they closed. And I mean, most of it was just Justin and Jeremy strategizing about how to build your YouTube channel.
That's what I would have been listening to, is just like watching two, familiar minds that are like, okay, these are that are not just good at it, they're doing it, and they're meeting each other. So I want to hear this, but I would be so overwhelmed, probably like going, I can't keep,
Well, there was I had studied a lot of it, so there was a lot of it that I kind of already knew, but he was able to kind of put it into a different perspective but then I was already listening to Think Media. I was already listening to all these other YouTubers. And so I was already studying YouTube. So when they offered the door to share their experience with how to build their YouTube channel, because at that point, Jeremy had just hit
Jeremy, he's the guy that knows it. He knows about
Yeah, Jeremy hit 100,000. Justin had just hit 10,000 back then. Now he's knocking on the door of 100,000.
And he attributes a lot of it to like some of his knowledge, and he does. He gets it. I think I truly believe he gets it. I'm not saying he shares all his information, but I also attribute he's got the charisma that's perfect for YouTube.
Oh yeah,
I know the algorithm well, but there's
personality things that I don't particularly care for about Mr. Hales. But he knows his stuff, and whether I like his personality or not, I'm gonna learn what I can.
I don't think it's a matter of whether we like it or not. I mean, he's not for everybody. I get what he's doing though. To me,
and you got to realize,
he's an entertainer, but he's also a great public speaker. He's a great public speaker, but he knows how to entertain. But he also, and so what I'm trying to say is every entertainer, not Mr. Hales, but every entertainer knows there's formulas you need to take in place. So if he's able to get that as an actor or whatever, and there's sides of it where he's got to perform, and he does well, and he really knows how to entertain people, because otherwise you wouldn't have 200 people wanting to watch you. But if you understand the formulas, then you get that YouTube is like that too. I'm here because I want to, this is my intentions for being here because, I'm here to learn. I'm here to if you go to my Instagram, I have one thing. Let's share strategies. I'm here to share.
Mhm.
Also, I'm going to ask questions and I want to learn. Meaning, I don't know it all.
One of the things that he even told us, he said, you got to really decide on what you want your channel to be about. And this is something that I've been learning a lot, even going in depth with this stuff this week. And I kind of was all over the place with some of my content. But he said, we talk about reselling and that we resell and how we look at comps so we can value the stuff that we find as far as our valuing our treasures. He says, we are a treasure hunting channel, not a reselling channel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He is very clear on who his target audience is and what his channel is about. It's not about reselling.
Well, otherwise, why would we, Louie, hone in on this, dude? Is why would we make these elaborate thumbnails? Look what I found, massive gold, blah blah blah. And what the hell's done? Perfect. And he's really short, sweet, in just it's condensed. It's like,
Well, and
he's got this. I watch it.
But he also, if you look at how 90% of the people in this community title their videos and build their thumbnails, and then you look at what he does, you understand why he's got 100 times more subscribers than a lot of them do too, because he's doing keyword research. He's doing that stuff that brings people in outside of the niche to watch his videos, and then some of those people subscribe to his channel. And
I think he's also this really deeply sincere person too, because I said something on an Instagram to probably bust his chop, and I went, why did I do that? But because he told a joke and it had nothing to do with reselling, nothing else, and I'm like, that's like a dad joke, and I'm like, and I was just busting his balls about it, but really he's just telling a simple, safe joke. Nothing that's going to hurt anybody, something that's fun, and it's fun, get over it. And I went, yeah, and then he's got some sophisticated stuff.
There are people that have been offended by things he's done.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm not offended by him. I was just
like I said, I can still enjoy his content and not like the way he.
I just can't sit. He does it for like a lot of these, like right now we're sitting here. It's going on 2 hours. I don't know what you guys are doing up. I know what Luis is. He's got 2 hours on us. But
here, I'd probably be doing something else, watching TV or something else, because I'm usually don't go to sleep until about 2 o'clock.
Night owl?
Yep, and I'll probably just be listing some stuff right now anyway. So I usually be up to 11, 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock, and then up by 6. So
okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there's a part of me that's like James. I don't want to get up, and then I'll sleep in. But my body, get your butt up, man. You're going to sales. You got to go to work, and it's part of my work ethic. If I need to, I'll take a nice, good, little nap. Nothing like a siesta, because if I could lay down 30 minutes and just, and then get make another pot of coffee and go at it.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Where are you, Luis, in South Cali?
I'm in Ontario, California. It's about 25 minutes away from downtown LA.
Okay, it is outskirts, kind of like, right?
Yeah, the outskirts of LA. Yeah.
Did you grow up there?
Yeah, I was born here in Cali and born and raised.
I was born in San Jose.
Nice. It's nice up there. I've been up there a couple times.
I liked it when I grew up there because it was still Silicon Valley. My grandmother had one of the last farms there.
Okay.
Dude. And I just went on Google, what do you call this? Google Satellite. And I went, I cried. I was like, what? Because she had all this farmland. You know the Berryessa flea market?
Yeah.
Dude, I lived right across the street from that. I grew up back in the 70s and 80s, dude.
Oh, okay. I know exactly where that's at. Yeah.
Dude, it was that's where, so what I'm revealing is that's where I got my picker nature. I was going there 7, 8, 9 years old by myself. I probably should have been killed. There's so many perverts and weirdos and just creeps and these cholos chasing after me like, give me your money. And it's like, leave me alone. It's like I do, but I would find baseball cards, comic books. And then when I got it, when my friends were like, oh, you got that? I'll trade you for this. And I'm like, no, I know you got this card, so I would what I wanted. So I would always up my game. I was like, buy more cards, and that game early, What was it really you guys like when you were kids?
No, that's how I started. My dad, he used to sell at the flea markets and swap meets. So I used to go every weekend. I would go with him, and he would sell appliances. Like what he would do, he would collect all the refrigerators, all the dryers and washers that people pulled outside their house that were no longer working.
He was mechanical,
and he would actually fix them. He would get a bunch to fix. He will do all week to fix them, and then on Saturdays, I remember it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. We will leave to go get in line to go into the swap meet, into the flea markets, just to get a spot. And probably about 5:30, they will let everybody in. And by the time he set up, and all, it was like 6:30. So I grew up around the whole reselling since I was a kid.
So you get the get up and you got to hustle thing. Yeah. Like some of the hardest workers I've ever met were people that do flea markets. And I notice a lot of resellers, they don't talk about it a lot, but there's a few guys I know, and I get excited when and the guy is Leroy. You know Leroy? He shows up a lot.
Yeah, I've seen him around.
Blood, sweat, and sales. Is it?
Yeah. So that's pretty much been since I was a kid. That's one thing my dad always taught us, because he said that American kids were lazy. He goes, I know you were born here. He would tell me, so you need to come, and I need to teach you this work ethic. And this was on every weekend. Every weekend we would go to the flea markets, to the swap meets. So I've been doing this since I was a kid.
When you find the real good treasure, like, I seen San Jose grow up to the point where it was just wholesale crap, But I back in the day when you really can go and somebody, San Jose was big because it's like it's not far from where what's his name part-time biz, it's like all the cities blend into each other, and I'm seeing Austin and San Antonio are going to be like that pretty soon with Waco. You need a train.
I'm kind of different than everybody else I see, because I hear these kind of stories like y'all's, but grew up doing this stuff. Okay. I started 3 years ago. Okay. My mom passed away. My stepmom, she passed away about 4 years ago, and her sister and I were the only two who had pretty much anything to do with her at the end. And so I inherited. She was a hoarder, and I inherited a large portion of her hoard.
Wow.
And I was sitting through it. I was sifting through it slowly, just getting rid of stuff, donating a bunch of stuff. We probably donated 90% of the stuff she had. Knowing now what I know then, I would have sold a whole lot more of it. But
or sold.
About 3 years ago, my wife and I got involved in the Dave Ramsey plan because we were trying to get out of debt. We were struggling financially. I was working at a job where at the time I was making $15,000 a year trying to support a family of 4. And so we needed to increase our income, and that's what was happening at my job. So we started selling stuff on eBay. We started selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. We started with selling Earth's Hoard. And then one of the things Dave Ramsey teaches in his class is sell so much stuff your kids think you're next. Well, we started running out of stuff to sell. So we started buying other people's stuff. That's when we started buying storage units and started reselling. So I've only actually been doing this for a little bit over 3 years off and on, really hardcore for about the last year.
You sound really like you're in, you get it. You're into it.
I love it. I love the treasure hunt. Maybe it's because of the way I grew up, but I love the treasure hunt much more than the selling side of it. But I can do the selling side of it. I'm decent at it. I'm learning more about comps and starting to build a knowledge base of being able to approximate what stuff is worth just because of looking up so many comps. Because when I first started, I'm sitting there for hours because I'm looking up every single item that I find. But I'm getting better at not having to look up everything. What do you think there was one little thing when you were a kid that you can attribute, whether it's just your parents doing it, like they brought you to garage sales, or did you somebody that was really good at making something and selling it, or did you ever do that as a kid where you flip stuff? I didn't have a whole lot of that. I mean, I had a little bit of it here and there, and I had a friend of mine. It was actually kind of where I got my name. I had a friend of mine when I was in high school. I was a senior. He was much older than me. He was like in his, I don't know, he's like 60 something now. So, but he was basically a trader. He did all this stuff. He had storage rooms of his own full of stuff that he
In
scavenged.
high school?
Huh?
In
Well,
high
I
school?
knew him when I was in high school. He's much older than I am. But I knew him when I was in high school. We became friends. He was kind of a mentor to me. And he used to tell me he was a scavenger. And that's how he built up all of his stuff. And sometimes he scavenged for reselling stuff, and sometimes he just scavenged for because he knew somebody was
Good
looking.
term. A lot of people don't get it. I remember that there can be negative connotations, but I think for me it's always been like, if you're a scavenger, you're like you're like, it's like when you watch basketball, that guy's a scrapper,
Yeah.
You know?
But that's what he did, and that's how he made his living for a long time. And he taught me a lot of things about looking for stuff, and how to get rid of stuff, how to find stuff. And I mainly do it through storage units now, because that's I mean, that fills up my time. But I mean, I go looking around at thrift stores. I go to the flea markets at times and other stuff as well. So,
Do you guys know Smile Times Gifts? He's in the. He's in,
I haven't met Smile Times.
No,
did I ask you a while ago your name, Smile Time Gift? Type it up. We just want to say hey, and give you a shout out. Put your Did I give you a wrench? Yeah. Put your if you have a YouTube channel. You said no, Luis?
No, I haven't met him. I've seen him around, but I haven't met him yet.
I think I remember his logo somehow. I don't know if
his logo looks familiar. Yeah.
I'll go around a couple of times, but I've never met him.
I don't know if Out Country's still here, but I was gonna say thanks for coming. And then is it Marrakech 7? Did you say your name earlier? I'm getting the name. They got a lot of good input. They were putting down got some information. One was like San Jose is the largest flea market in the Bay Area with East Oakland. I forgot Oakland has one too. O-Town's O-Town. I was always an A's fan.
Content.
Oakland Raiders all the way, baby. No more. Las Vegas.
Yeah, now they're Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? Like they went Oakland, LA, and back to Oakland, Las Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas, yeah.
But you know what? That's like, okay, talk about money, and I don't know. It's not necessarily a reseller game, but their merchandise is going to be crazy there. I think their merchandise is going to go probably about 40% more than they've ever sold, because when they go to Las Vegas, the bets are going to be inside the stadium, the casino, the betting. Yep. You're going to have bookies there. It is going to be a madhouse. I mean, you're going to be able to bet on NFL like you've never bet on it before. And people are going to get so high-strung. In Las Vegas is something. It's a crazy city. Yeah. I remember when it was old. My niece moved there, and I haven't heard from her in a while. That city's wacko, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I even heard that they have they're gonna have their own police station in that stadium.
Yeah. Oh, dude, they're probably gonna have a little jail cell in there.
Yeah, I'm sure they are, especially with the Roddy Raider.
Do you want a rideshare reseller from the Bay Area? What's that? Marrakech said that. I don't know what that means. What do you mean?
Rideshare reseller from the Bay Area?
Rideshare. That's something else. Okay. The Bay Area. Sounds familiar. Put the link up. Link it up. Link us up.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to do this tonight. I just said, now we're going to be up on Saturday night. We don't ever do anything on Saturday nights. And then I was like, tonight, I just wanted to chill out. And usually I'm up listing, but I get sourced hard for 2 days in a row. And I'm just like, you're going at it.
Sometimes you just need to take a break. That's all it is.
Well,
Copper State Treasures had just ended her Saturday Night Live when you went live. So,
is that what they're saying?
Well, I was where I was. I was over her live, and she ended it and popped over here. And then
send me the link to that later.
from over there. Huh?
I don't think I know that. Who is this again?
Lisa at Copper State
Oh,
Treasure.
Lisa, yeah.
What? See, I'm still catching up. I'm so slow, man. And like, I used to have a bunch. I was like subscribing to everybody, and then like one day I went, I can't watch them all. And I took everybody down for a little bit, and I started putting people back on, you know. And then now I'm just subscribing again.
Copper State Treasures, they do some reselling and stuff. She hasn't been doing a whole lot because her husband does most of it, and he's traveling. He's a respiratory therapist, and he's been traveling, helping with some of the hot spots for COVID.
I can't even imagine.
Started off in New York City when New York City was the big hot spot, and he went to San Antonio here just a few months ago, and then he just left San Antonio and went to Georgia. So he's traveling around, hitting different hot spots and helping them with treating the COVID. He's been, I mean,
isn't it amazing though? Somebody has just that. Wow, you know, the stamina to do that.
Yeah. But she still does some of the reselling stuff, but like they do storage units, but he does a lot of the storage unit clean out and stuff. And so they haven't bought a storage unit in months, and she's waiting for him to come home.
Smile Time Stiff says, I don't have any content. That's okay. Maybe one day.
Some people do, some people don't. Not everybody.
There are part of the content. When you go to lives, if it wasn't for the people listening in and choning in and typing stuff up like us, you know, then you get to hear feedback, and it's like, you know, then it becomes where you're familiar with everybody. Like
I know, yeah, half of our lives. I mean, I've been in lives, some of my own, where I said everything I had to say. There was nobody chatting, so I just cut it short. And then I've had other lives that went for like this one 2 hours because
like Louie, he's patiently waiting there. He's not. I know he's got something to say. He's thinking up something. You're like,
oh no, I'm listening to you guys. I mean, it's true. I mean, what he's saying about the, you know, the lives and stuff. Sometimes you do them, and you know, you get a few people come in, and then it kind of dies down a little bit, and you know, then the conversation again. You know, so I agree with that. But I mean, it's all part of it.
There when I started, I'm like, nobody gonna show up. Nobody gonna show up. And then all of a sudden, I was like, what's that number? Oh, there's the number. You know, and I'm like, oh, there it is.
I did that one night. I have one night. I didn't even intend to go live. I was actually setting up a live stream for another day, and I accidentally hit the wrong thing, and I went live right then. And the next thing I knew, I had like 10 people in my chat, and we stayed over for 2.5 hours.
Dude, you know what time it is right now? It's like we've been on 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's 11 o'clock here in Cali, so it's about what 1:08 your time right now.
16. I'm gonna cut it short a little bit, but I was gonna ask you, Luis, have you ever thought about have you bought or got into storage units or with somebody?
Not yet. I was actually looking into that before the whole COVID thing started, so I haven't really. I mean, I've been going online looking at some, but some of the lockers are going for a lot of money. Usually the $200 lockers are selling for like $700-800. So I've just been keeping an eye on that.
I had one that I was just like, I had one that I was looking at just the other day, and I was like, the only reason I looked at this locker was I was like, hey, that would make a good locker clean out just for a YouTube video. Because I don't know if you watch Treasure Hunting with Jeebus. He does a lot of these really small lockers. Not really to make money off them. He even admits he doesn't make his money is more from YouTube. He's a YouTube content creator, not a reseller. So he makes a little bit of money off of eBay, but most of his stuff is from his YouTube ad revenue.
Okay. And look at what
these small lockers that I was like,
really buy them, but they make great content visiting, you know, and then they do their coin pushing.
Yeah.
It's like whatever works, you know. Like, but they got their system down pat. Like, that's where you're headed at, you know.
But I was looking at that because I haven't done a storage unit in a while because of our shutdown and everything we did, and now I've been trying to buy a unit for like 3 weeks, and I was looking at one, and I was like, man, if I can get this one cheap enough. It had like 3 totes in it was all it had, and it went for like $500.
You serious?
And I was like, that is insane. There's no way that unit was worth $500.
Let me ask you this. Do you think anybody ever has insider tips? Like, do you think there's guys in the industry that are kind of like, go get that, you know, that used to.
What it is, honestly, one, online auctions. Two, there's, like I said earlier, there's so many people that are
Right.
don't know what they're doing, that are out there just bidding up crazy prices on these units, and they're buying units for way more than they're worth. I mean, I'm seeing it almost every day, and I had one I was looking at really, really hard earlier this week. I was even bidding on it for a while, but it was just, it was a really
yeah. You know, this is what I heard on a similar note, that you guys are. I'm sure you guys already heard this, so let me know if I'm preaching to the choir. But the liquidation pallets that are like the people that are in that game, not the storage units, but there's that one couple that are like on that new TV show, but they've already been in our YouTube community for a while. You know what I'm talking about?
Steven Staff.
Yeah, and so like,
well, there's two of them. There's Steven Staff and there's Family Flips. They're both on YouTube, and they're both
thinking of Family Flips. Like, I think it's Family Flips. Yeah, I know them both. But like but long story short, you know, they said because of a lot of the hype, because of what's going on with the coronavirus, and like you said, and then like you made a good point, the newbies are gonna like add a monkey wrench. You don't know if it's gonna go up or down. It's like an auction, you know, and that is an auction. So, you know, they said a lot of people are just gonna need to wait it out for a while, you know. And
Well, see, the thing is, you know, these prices are gonna inflate because of all this craziness going on, but they're gonna come back down. So you just gotta be patient. And for me, like, I'm looking for those off the wall units that nobody else wants because I can pick them up for not as cheap as I used to. I used to pick them up for like $10. Now I might pay like $100. But I'm looking ahead, not just at what can I make today, but I'm knowing like I'm going to get my channel monetized. I'm getting closer. I'm probably going to be just a few months away from monetization on my channel. Yeah. What kind of ad revenue can that video bring in over time? So that's going to calculate into what I'm willing to spend on a unit, because I know
maybe years down the line where you really see a good chunk of it. Because I have a friend that before I even knew about resellers doing this, you know, and it would have blew my mind if I caught up quicker, but my friend was just doing YouTube, and he was the one who explained to me about monetization. And I'm like, you what? He's like, yeah, I get like a $500. I'm like, no, you don't. He showed me it was like $300-$400 just because people were watching videos of some video he took a kid playing in a sandbox years ago, and it's like he's getting thousands of hits.
Well, see, that's like one of the things that I'm learning at that event that I've been going to all week is how to monetize my channel without the ad revenue. Because there's lots of things I can do to monetize my channel right now before I even hit that 1,000 subscribers. And there's a lot of the people that are making full-time living off of YouTube. It's not off of YouTube ads that they're doing it, because YouTube ads revenue honestly doesn't pay that much.
Right.
In fact, most of the people that I've been listening to that make a full-time living off of their YouTube content,
Cat talks about it all the
time. They're doing brand deals and sponsorships. They're doing affiliate marketing. They're doing other things.
How good of a network are you? Because like on a very small scale, which is not small. I mean, it's if you're a reseller, it's big. Old school picker Chris, he's like, I'm so grateful that since I've been like, he does like videos almost every day, and he says he's been making really good money off of that. But you see it all in all the guys that are popular too. You know, the big guys, they're like, they'll just, I'm going to make a basic video and do my thing. And if I sell, who knows what they're selling? They probably don't even list that much.
Yeah.
I'm going to list this. Do you want to buy it? Here's free advertisement.
Yeah, Marrakesh. Steve and Steph do mostly dumpster diving on their channel, but they're doing pallet flips on this new TV show that they're on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the ones, you know. They have some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the big channels. I mean, you know, I watch the resellers, and see, there's a stigma in the reseller community against monetizing your YouTube channel with anything other than your reselling stuff. And it's ridiculous because it takes so much work to focus on your channel that takes you away from your reselling. If you do it well and you're doing those things to grow your channel, it takes a lot of work. It's not something that happens unintentionally. But I look at and I've talked to several people. You know, I'm friends with, even though there's kind of a schism with some of the bigger of the treasure hunting channels. I follow all of them and I chat with them.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that they're all doing the same. One, they're doing things to monetize their channel, but they're also, one of the biggest things that all of them have done to grow their channels as big as they have is collaboration. And that's why I started.
I'm glad you said that. I was on a live the other night. I said the same thing. I mentioned it to actually it was on, you know, Eric OBX Picker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He invited me and you saw it, Luis, but they did the rapid refire thing. And they're like, you want to?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll go, because they said we got so many people. We're trying to get them all. That we're gonna have to do one weekend out of the month and just get at least 2-3 people in there and try to, you know. And then of course we're gonna pay tribute to the guys that've been here a little longer and, you know, give them their own. I'm like, I don't care how you do it, you know. I'm like, I'll just. And my one thing I told Sam was, I think it's really imperative, and I told him because I was telling him from my experience and when I was in graduate school, is that those who didn't collaborate didn't go very far. They weren't successful, and their grade, not just the grades, it's just like what their content in terms of who they were as like in their subject matter didn't. The professors were like, nah, you know, you didn't work with other people well. You were difficult. You know, you're like, you know, you're a miserable SOB. And it's like, you know, and there's some people like that on YouTube where I'm like, I don't want to get involved in that, you guys. You know, just stay out of it. It's like, you know,
that's true.
You know, you got to learn, you know, and you got to keep learning. You got to, you know, push it to the limit where like, okay, what can I give back? And you don't got something to give back, help somebody else. That's a way to collaborate, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, Smile Time. I love Locker Nuts. You know, I watch all of those guys over in California. And, you know, we have to balance. We still have to do our reselling. We still have to do our other stuff. But, you know, we're like what we're doing more treasure hunting, looking for that lost treasure. And then I auction 90% of the stuff. We donate a ton of stuff that we find out of these units. And then we kind of cherry pick what we're going to list on eBay. So my eBay store has been very small because we kind of cherry pick some of the stuff that we're listing on eBay.
I mean, we can't help it. You know, we you know, like I was telling Josh earlier that on my new ventures, at least. So like on the weekends, anything goes. Like, you know, I'll pick anywhere and anyhow. So I went to an estate sale. I went to a couple yard sales, moving sales or whatever. And I bumped into another estate sale they call it an estate sale. It was more like a moving sale because the poor guy's dad passed away. And I did a little video footage, but out of respect, I want to film him in the house. I'm kind of like taboo on that, but it's, you know, and then all of a sudden I'm like on the way home, I was like, stop at the thrift store. Didn't you get enough? You know, and it's like, yes, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you always kind of want that treasure, but at the same time, I'm also thinking practically, what can I buy in bulk? Like if I didn't go to that garage sale that was next to the thrift store, I wouldn't have bought, you know, 10 of those same items where I could flip them and just sit on it and not do anything. I need replenishment. That's a business move. That's not a treasure, you know. I mean, I like that. I'm probably going to make out good on it, but you have to strategize, I guess. So I'd love to hear more, James, about your you know, your input on and just I'm gonna have to, you know, catch up on some of your stuff and your content. But like I'd like to meet up with you one day, just follow you, just watch you do one of your storage moves.
Yeah, like I said, right now I'm trying to buy one. I've been bidding all week and I have yet to win one because they keep going out of, you know.
I think next year it's gonna levy out.
Not nearly what like Pirate does, Grimes does, Hales does, because they have a much bigger budget to work with than I do right now.
Sure.
But I'm also, you know, I'm doing that household grind and rewind that Pirate talks about all the time. I started with a $10 budget and I'm building up. I bought units, flipped the stuff that was in them. Now I'm buying some more.
You got to, you know, you got to go within your means.
Yep. Slowly,
know what you got.
Well, with the ridiculous price of units have been going for, you know, it's harder for people to start off with the smaller units. But I still find them, so I'm still hoping. I've got a few that I'm following right now. I got a few I'm and my budget's a little bit bigger, so I'm looking at dropping a few $100 on my next unit. So I'm hoping to get a really good one that I can clean out. The last really good one I had, we paid $200. We were actually planning on going to $400, and the other guy stopped bidding. So, but it had some really nice stuff. It had a full bedroom suite in there, which we wound up selling. Part of it, some of it's still sitting in my storage unit. And like you see some of my videos, a lot of what I've been doing for the last couple of months is cleaning up the mess in my own storage.
It's always the balance of what they call the householder. If you don't
I rent 2 10 by 30 units of my own that I rent. That's where I sort and store everything. And I've been doing a lot of donation stuff. And part of it, I had bought a whole bunch of units right before my wife got sick back in February. And
is she doing better?
Yeah, well, she got better. Then COVID broke out, and she got sick with that, and then other things happened, and she was better. Everything was getting okay. We were kind of getting our house back in order, and then she got sick last week again and went back in the hospital. Similar thing to what had put her in the hospital the first time.
She didn't recover then, probably. Yeah.
It's a chronic issue. That's what they told us this time. It's going to be a chronic issue. She's diabetic, and it's related to her diabetes.
I'm sorry to hear.
He doesn't want me to tell the details of it, so I'm not going to.
Oh, no, don't. No, you should.
Chronic issues related to diabetes that causing her some complications. But she's better right now for now.
Good.
So
Good.
That's good to hear, man.
With all that, and we have a disabled daughter. We've got a 1-year-old. So I'm bouncing around between trying to clean up a mess in my storage, trying to rebuild my eBay store, trying to do my videos, trying to take care of the family.
Yeah.
So I'm like all over the place.
Do you watch Old School Picker?
Yeah, I watch Chris. I've been watching Chris for about almost a year now.
Like he's got a similar story,
Yeah.
He busts his ass. People don't realize how much he's trying to balance, I wasn't trying. He's doing it. He is joke with him, but he doesn't know that I'm not joking when I say you're like the OG. You're really the OG here, man. You're like original gangsters. Like, dude, you're just when you put your family equation in there, and family comes first. You got a little girl, right? You got and so when you're I remember the days I was doing this. Probably there was a 3-year period I stopped. May have been a little longer, but the last couple of years I got back into it big. But before that, I was doing it for a long time, and I probably just a lot of life stuff was just it's hard to balance with a child, and like you said, special needs, and then trying to take care of your partner, and it's like, and then how are you going to clean that? Dude, just go baby steps. Write it down. I'm going to give my 2 hours. So that's all I got, 2 hours is better than nothing,
Yeah.
But it's hard when you do it
this time
yourself.
of year. That's what I've been doing a lot lately anyway. Because you've been here, it just gets too bloody hot to be staying in that storage unit all day long.
Yep.
I mean, by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, it's already up into the 90s.
Louie.
By noon, it's getting into the hundreds.
Yeah.
Luis, the last couple of weeks he's talking about, it just been. I know it's been hot in Cali too, but we had 106 and 105, and and that thing's like an oven, isn't it, James?
Yeah, it's like standing in an oven. It's just a tin building. It just soaks up
Give me
that.
1 second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna
And
get
even after the sun goes down, it's like 8, 9 o'clock before that room cools down.
Yeah, I could imagine. I mean, out here it's been about 104, 105 this week, and last week we were up to 109, 110, but then the humidity kicked in, so just made it even worse. I mean, I can imagine. I know Texas is really hot and humid as well, so I can only imagine.
So that's what we've been doing. That's why, I get into my storage unit and I work in there for about 2-3 hours a day. And then I come back to the house. But usually a lot of it too is I'm sorting stuff out. So I've got 2 units, and one of them is basically the trash and the donation stuff is being put in one unit, and the stuff that's sorting out to be resold. And then the stuff that's being sorted out to be resold, then I'm sorting it out. Okay, this is stuff I'm going to list on eBay. This is stuff that we're going to sell on auction in bulk lots. I've got bags and bags probably almost a third or more of what I've got is clothes. I hate listing clothes. I'm going to put up the rest of the clothes, and I take those to auction, and then the other stuff I'm going to donate. I donate to a local homeless shelter. I donate to the Goodwill. I donate to several of my thrift shops. I've got like 5 or 6 different places we separate our donations to.
I joke with my friends. They go, what does reselling entail? Like, what is it all about? Well, I said, and I've told them, I said, come out for a day with me. I'll buy you lunch. You're going to get tired, but I also tell them, this is what I do in a nutshell. Da 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 da. And then, I consider myself a philanthropist. What do you mean you're a philanthropist? I give back if I can. I'll donate this stuff. And literally, I've actually gone to the Goodwill bins, and I come home with a really nice jacket, not sure if I could sell it. And then I see this dude like on the corner. He's cold as shit. It's like, excuse my language. He's, here, I go run out my trunk at a stoplight. And I'm like, here, take this jacket, He's, oh man, I can use that, and I'm like, take it. Because it did cost me what? $2.50, $5, whatever. And, so if you're giving stuff to Goodwill or Salvation Army, which I prefer, you give it back to the community. And if you can give it back to like, homeless shelter, even better, or battered women's shelter, give it away, because there's places that need it. I've given to I used to work at I was a house manager at it's a mentally disabled house, and they needed books, they needed magazines, they needed clothes. A lot of them, they didn't have anything, and special needs folk that they're not getting any money. The government takes to pay their house.
Another one we do a lot of, because of my daughter and her special needs, and because they've done a lot for us with her hospital stays and stuff, is Ronald McDonald House.
Nice.
We get soaps and shampoos and that kind of stuff all the time. We get sometimes food, and believe it or not, sometimes the food we get in storage units is not expired. So we get any of that kind of stuff, like paper plates and that kind of stuff that we find. We donate a bunch of that kind of stuff to Ronald McDonald House.
Ain't no shame, it's used, otherwise we're wasting it. And like Andy, who was here earlier, Andy, Sameta, his philosophy behind why he does what he wants to do is because, it's like a lot of us, we want to save the stuff from like letting it, ending up in a landfill. And it's like, see that happen. Our earth is already like crumbling apart with what everything is going on. It's crazy. Luis, do you still do flea markets?
I went to a flea market the other day, and it was really dead. There was only maybe 10 people set up that day, so it was not a lot. Just because of the pandemic right now, kind of keeping everybody away out here. So there was only the lady that was selling the pots, and then the guy that sells the non-brand shoes, and then
the diehards probably too.
Euro did. I don't know the ones up north, but I know are down here, because I usually go to the one over in Kyle.
Okay, I want to go there one day. I'm going to do it. And Kyle gets a bad rep, but I know it's more practical and tools. I'm going to bring some stuff, because I sell clothes like crazy. I get so much
out there right now. It is like, I've lived there, and I know some of the people that sell out there, and they're not even going out there. And they said, it's not worth it. You're not going to make any money because the crowds aren't coming out there. And
you're talking about Kyle? In Kyle? I'm gonna reach out to you, James, later. And I don't know what day. I know you're busy, and you said you're in an environment where you don't have a lot of time, and how are you gonna get this storage shed done? You got your child, and you're helping your wife. But the other day I was driving down Congress Avenue. I was like, what is going on? What? And it was this one place next to a junkyard. It was like an empty field lot. And people were parking their cars and popped those trunks open, and they were selling stuff out of it. And I was just like, oh, here we go. I pulled, I'm driving off, and I was like, what's going on, folks? And there's some people I recognize. There's this one Latino family. I see him at the, what do you call it? The bins, the Goodwill bins all the time. Hey, how you doing? He's like, hey, And I'm like, you selling here? And it's like, yeah, we're gonna make our own flea market. And I'm like, okay. So he did, and this other dude, he had like taken up all this space. And what does it cost to go? There's no cost. You just pull up. And I'm like, the cops don't say nothing. And they were just selling their stuff right on Congress Avenue, James.
Wow.
And they asked this guy, I said, how'd you do? He goes, I've been here since 8 o'clock this morning, and I did better. I sold more in between 3 and 5. And I was like, there you go. That's a tip right there. I'll just come park my car for 3 to 5 and sell a bunch of crap out of my car, you know?
Well,
It's like, so much crap.
Everybody get off work.
That's what I told him. I said, people come home. He's like, and they see that I need those tires, or I need, this guy has good stuff,
That's a good way to do it. So, that's what I think, because that's one of the things we were doing back when we first started. I was going to a few of the flea markets.
So if people are going to flea markets, make them come to you. Park on your street. Pop that truck. I got a box of stuff here. And you know what's sad is, like, people are looking for deals right now.
They are.
People are hurting. People are hurting.
Yep.
Andy, you still here?
It says Andy Sometta said I'm still here in the chat a few minutes ago. So
I wish he made more videos. I know he's busy too, but he got bad skills when it comes to editing. Have you seen his editing?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Bro, go back and watch them all, and then really watch how he splices these things together. I mean, when I say he's got mad skills, he studied hard to do this stuff, but he has an artist at heart, and he, like, the way he it's like, what did he just do? That's like Hollywood shit. It's fun. And he's pretty clever about it. So, all right,
yeah.
It's getting super late. You guys tired yet? There's 6 people.
Yeah, people are slowly starting to leave, but there's a couple still hanging out.
I appreciate you guys, hanging out, man. It's James. It's good to see your face again here.
Good to get to meet you, and yeah, I'm just getting out there. I see people that almost every time I get an opportunity to get up on somebody's live, especially somebody I don't know and I haven't met them, I'm trying to get out there and meet more people. And
yeah, I'm trying to do it too, because I'm real shy. I don't want to, I don't want to put myself out there. My daughter's like, just do it, Dad. I'm like, a
year ago, I was shy. The very first live I was on was back in November of last year. And I sat there. I swear I was on there for like 3 hours, and I maybe said 5 words the whole time I was there because I was so shy. And then, of course, it didn't help that I was there, and then they invited Pirate in, and Storage Stalker, and Locker Nuts. And so all these people that I've been watching for the last couple of years and learning from, and I was kind of fangirling for a moment. I was like, oh my God.
It's funny.
So I was just kind of sitting back and letting it, and they just dominated the conversation. So I just sat back and listened. But I was there for like 3 hours, and like I said, I spoke maybe 5 words the whole 3 hours. And everybody was like, oh, you were so great. And I was like, I didn't even say anything. I just sat there.
Yeah, but you know what? You always need that one person that's patient and listening, but they'll say something when it matters, and it's like Louie, like, I've watched him for years, and I remember I was fangirling, like, oh, dude, the dude's back, and he's coming in alive, I watched, it's like, but I noticed also you slowly kind of came out, and you did your thing,
Dr. Nuts does that too. He still does that. I mean, he's been doing it for over a year now.
Yeah.
Dr. Nuts, Jack Chestnut from San Francisco.
Okay.
One of the Storage Auction guys. He does great, but he gets on these lives with everybody else. When he's on these live panels, he'll sit there the whole time. But when he says something, you better listen because it's important.
Yeah.
I love that because direct, to the point. That's just,
Yeah, for sure.
But he's a great guy. He's chill. He's mellow. He gets along with everybody. I love Jack.
Dave's like that too. You know, Tesla Picker. You ever watch him, James?
Who?
Tesla Picker.
Tesla Picker?
Yeah,
I
Dave.
just subscribed to their channel a couple of days ago. I'd never seen him before.
It's good. He shows up a lot, and he's like, he got his shout. You know, he shout out, but he didn't take it for granted. He ran with it, and he said, I'm gonna be faithful with it. And he's been very steady with his content, and he's just, you know, he's just a chill guy. He just like, he does his thing. He talks, he listens, you know, and like, but you know, he'll go and talk with Lonnie and what's his name, John, you know, the Cincinnati Picker, and he was on their Guys Without Jobs. And it's funny because like for years, I mean, like this early this year, I was like, when they started it or whenever they started, I was like, why don't they put Tesla on there? You know, it's like, you guys, you're gonna bore each other. Like last week or I don't know if it's once or twice, maybe the first time, but he like, thank you. You know, it's like you can have two people talk, but after a while, it's like, you know, you're gonna run out of things to talk about too. You know, you gotta mix it up. And like Marcus the other day when he first did his thing with Lorena, and I was, you know, he was like, we had too many people in there. We're gonna only have 4 people now. Like, you're being controlling. It's like, so what? You know, I mean, as long as everybody's polite and gives everybody a chance to talk, have a big panel. You know, but
yeah, it's different when you have different people in there because it keeps the communication and the chat, you know, going back and forth, and everybody's more engaged with it. I guess he must have gotten overwhelmed a little bit or something, but I think it was good. He had all those people on.
That first time, or
yeah, the first time.
I think I was on that day. Was that what? Yeah, Dave was. And
yeah,
then
you were there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Krillin came on. Oh my gosh, did you see it last Friday?
Yeah, I saw it.
My technology wasn't working, and then it's too loud. And then Dave, I couldn't hear him in the headset I had.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you guys on a laptop. I normally talk to people on my phone because I'm lazy. And so I said, let me get this working, and so that's why I said, I need to get my laptop for the StreamYard, because if I'm ever going to live, because I have a couple ideas that I want to do a show, but I'm trying to find the time slot that's going to be the best. That I'm snooping it out. I'm trying to find a time slot that people are not looking at. That I think
there's really not one. I can tell you because I've moved my lives like 4 times, and every time I start getting my lives going, somebody else is starting to go live, and it's always, you know, a lot of the bigger channels that are like, you know, it's like, well, why aren't I getting any watchers? And then I found out, well, these channels were all live at the same time. Well, no wonder.
Yeah.
Flippin' Eric, hey dude, I'm sorry if you're still here. Just saw you, man. Flippin' Eric. He's like, yo.
Well, yeah, this time's like the best time slot as far as nobody being on. The problem is everybody's asleep.
Yeah, everybody's probably knocked out already.
There's the night owl in me that wants to do this, but I know I'm going to regret it in the morning. Or, you know,
there's a lot of people that still watch channels late at night too, as you build up your following. Man, because she had Robin, so a lot of her channel is built up with doing her Insomniacs, which they run it like from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, see me, I want to find just to kind of, just to kind of get familiar with and acclimated with the live stream stuff, and also just kind of get out there and put myself out there. But I just want to make it 45 minutes to an hour. That's it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's hard to bring yourself off.
What's that?
Look at us. You've been on for 3 times that already. 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Lord, is it?
We're going on 3 hours.
But you know what?
I get on my live and it's like, okay, we're gonna do a 1 hour live. 2 hours later, we're still going.
Well, in terms of this idea that I have, it's just it's a content kind of thing where I want it. Okay, I'll give you a hint. So some of it is it's going to be during the daytime, which is an odd time because not everybody's going to be able to really be there. But I want to have a loose schedule. So once in a while, I'm going to cross some other people, and that's what I think. I'm looking at it from a stream perspective, but also I also have this idea about who I want to be there. And then I want to do it where it's like a quick guest, and I got this idea for like questions that I'm going to ask them. Some of them are going to be the same, some of them are going to be new, and maybe I'd like to do some spotlights.
Some of it is look at your viewership, go into your YouTube analytics, and you're kind of small to really have a good judge right now. But as you build up your channel,
early for me.
Your analytics, and one of the things you have in your analytics is a heat map that shows what times of day people are watching your content, and you want to hit during that time of day is when you want to be doing your lives.
Okay.
Because that's when your core viewership.
But also, I'm going to be real. I'm just going to do it when I can do it.
No, definitely.
It's.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But that's the way you're gonna hit the most of your core audience. And then if you do it at the same time every day or every week, like you say, 6:00 p.m. every Tuesday, we're going live. You're gonna train your core audience to come back, and it'll be Tuesday, and they'll be sitting there, and you won't be going live that day. So you don't have a StreamYard, and there'll be people messaging you saying, "Why aren't you going on live? What's going on? Are you okay?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good perspective.
Hey guys,
how you been?
They get used to seeing you there every day. When you get into that flow, but yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do with your own schedule and with your own time. But
yeah, I don't mean that. I don't mean that in narcissistic, selfish way.
Your content, it's not just about posting content every day. Like, this is something that I learned from Jeremy whenever I was with them last year. He has to have his video online and processed by YouTube by a certain time every day. And he says
I love that he does it on his phone too.
If his video is not ready to publish, then he loses so much in ad revenue.
He's having some technical difficulties with his chair.
Oh yeah, it's a sit-stand desk. So,
but you want to have that. I mean, it's not just consistently posting; it's about consistently posting at the same time, because you train your viewers to come to your channel at that time on that day and see your content.
Yep.
And that's the other thing too. Is like, if I don't start this now, that's what I was going to say when you were saying that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore what you're saying, but I want to be consistent. Here's the thing: is if I'm going to be consistent on somebody else's live, and I'm showing up anyway, well, okay, maybe I'll find somebody I can butt up against, and say, you're going to do. I come to see you anyway. Let me see if I can, if there's a time slot around there. But hanging up again, bumping and grinding.
He started messing with his times, but what I used to do, because this is when I first started with Grimes, I was moderating in his chat and stuff. So I would follow Grimes, and he was allowing me to promote my lives during his premieres. But he was doing his premieres at the same time every day. Then he started jacking with his times, and now it's kind of gotten to where there's other people that are live right after him that are all bigger channels. So I don't follow him anymore. But that when I first started, there was nobody else going live right after his premieres, because he was doing his premieres at like 8:30. It was finishing about 9, and I would go live at 9.
Oh.
Interesting. Lives did you do? No, asking Luis, how many lives has he done so far?
I've done. It's been 3 that I've done already, and then on Thursdays I do the auctions with on Global Voodoo's channel. I've been doing that for about a month now, so I've been being on here quite often.
Okay. I think you and Andy are in the same neighborhood, aren't you?
oh yeah, I'm a mobile.
What city you're at?
Mobile.
Yeah, you're not too far from me. I'm in Ontario.
Yeah, I used to live in Rancho.
Oh, nice. Rancho's like right next to where I'm at.
I haven't been there in years.
Yeah. So yeah, he's not
new
too far
thing
from
about
me.
LA that I need to know. Like, I haven't been in Cali in so long. It's crazy. I don't even want to see San Jose.
Yeah, we stay in the what would you call the Inland Empire outside of Cali in San Bernardino County, which is considered the Inland Empire. So
it's just crazy how I've seen it grow. It's like, and then leave it, and I'll go on Google Maps and like, crazy.
Yeah.
Guys, grandfather's land. Did I tell you guys this? Yeah, I was looking on Google Maps. All right, Andy, I don't know if you heard. I used to live across the San flea market, growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
In various around.
Yeah, you were telling us earlier. Yeah.
And looking on Google Maps, I saw my grandfather's land, and I was like, "Shit, what?" And it's all condos now and everything. And next, butt up against the creek, and man, somebody made
He's
out
a millionaire.
It was it was like 47 acres or something like that. It was big, pretty. And I zoomed in, I'm looking at the street names. The smallest street in this little development that they made, it's his last name, it's like Brazzoni. And I'm like, what? It's like, that's all he is a small street?
Small street.
Nice.
It's like you had orchards of like walnut trees. It's crazy.
Yeah. I hear you. Oh, man.
It's crazy. So you going to any flea markets, Andy?
I hit up the Van Buren swap meet every now and then, but as for that, probably like Rubidoux, but I mean, he knows.
Yeah, Rubidoux Swap-Meets in Riverside. Yeah, it's not too far. About 20-minute drive from me. Is that open right now still or no?
I think the Van Buren one's still going on, but I haven't driven out that way in a while.
Yeah, me either. I haven't been out there. I've only been to the Tiki one over here in Pomona.
Yeah,
that's the one I usually go to.
I mean, the first day that our Eco Thrift opened, I just went straight there.
Yeah,
jumped right in it. Oh, he's freezing on my screen, but on your phone, you're moving. Something spooky.
Yeah, that happens sometimes at the StreamYard.
See, I'm like, oh, here we go. It was Josh was like, look on your phone. I'm like, oh yeah, so I don't have to look over here. And it's like, in the streamline, StreamYard. I mean, yeah.
It's also freezing up too. How many windows you have open on your computer?
Probably like everything's sucking. Let me shut this computer down over here.
I do the pop out chat for the YouTube, but then I close the YouTube window. So that way I have the YouTube chat up, but I don't have the whole window for YouTube open. Because you can pop out the chat and just have a separate window for the chat for YouTube. And then when you do that, then you can close the YouTube window so you're not pulling the stream for StreamYard and the stream for YouTube, which bogs down your computer, especially if you're on a laptop.
I'm gonna forget this.
Don't worry.
There's a lot of technical stuff behind it. Also, are you running on Wi-Fi or are you running on Oh, he froze. If you're running on a Wi-Fi, that'll affect your stream capabilities too.
Yeah.
Instead of being hardwired in.
Dude, I'm not savvy when it comes to technology as much as I wish I were.
That's the funny thing. I have people wanting me to answer their tech questions, and I'm like, I'm not a tech guy. I know very little about it. I just happen to know a little bit more than a lot of other people.
Yeah, if you're familiar, like you need to utilize it because, what you're up against, it's As long as you're not like a grandma that's like, I don't understand that interweb.
That's my mom.
That's my father-in-law. He got his first smartphone by force just a few months ago because his phone carrier would not sell him a flip phone.
Nice.
Dude, you're a picker. Go find me, dude.
Buy a smartphone. And now my wife's trying to teach him how to do just simple apps and like our grocery store app, so he can buy groceries and then have to go to the store. And he can't.
God.
He's like, I can't get it to work.
How do you turn it on?
How do I make a call? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah. I was on YouTube the other day and I was watching some like music video of some DJ, and I wrote something on there because this girl was dancing like somewhere down in Hollywood Avenue, and I was like, and everybody's writing all these weird comments on it. You damn kids! I said, when I was your age, I used to have to dance in the snow and this and that and the skateboard. And some guy writes back, "Okay, boomer." I was like, my daughter goes, "You know what that means, Dad?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know." You know, like I mean, I know no. She's like, it's the rudest thing my generation can say. So I'm Z generation. I said, yeah, you're zilch generation. It's like teachers all the time. It's like, okay, boomer. Like that's fucked up. It's like and their teachers are not even like in their 30s and stuff. They're like, okay, boomer. It's like that's how you.
Doesn't apply to everything.
It's like I said, you know what boomer means? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh,
I'm
God.
5 years older than you.
No.
My parents are boomers, not me.
I'm like, yeah, your grandma and grandpa, baby boomers.
Yeah.
Baby boomers. So what have you been up to, Andy? You working on a video?
Well, I have like, I have a lot of videos ready, but I've been working on a reel for a company right now, so.
Oh, you
Just
are?
been working on that. I'm trying to.
Is it time consuming?
It's more or less storyboarding right now, and then you have to get all the things acquired, and yeah. But the videos are there. I just need to edit them and make sense of like 4 hours of footage and put it into 5 minutes like I usually do. So.
Yeah, you were like saying you were telling me, you said just people love just put it in unedited. I remember
that other channel is I just trying something,
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, people love watching the 20-minute videos just going through stuff, so why not?
I need to start doing that. I think I need to start using this I think this laptop that I'm using right now is capable, but I got another computer, my friend. I'm lucky because James knows this, because up in where north of us is a town called Round Rock, and that's where Dell has a giant campus there. Like they hire so many people.
Nice.
But he works there. He works in the technology department where he helps them innovate different new aspects of apps or whatever they need to do. The new stuff. And he's like, "Oh, this is top secret. I can't tell you." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck." I'm like, "I don't care. You got a big computer I can have?" "Yeah, I do." He'll come over and I'm like, "Yep, I want to get my own one." It's like, "Give me that." It's like, so I gotta find something that's gonna hold my editing, and all my film footage, and just keep it on there. A lot of storage.
Yeah.
It's sad because I recently got a laptop at the pawn shop, and that thing is way faster than my PC that I built 4 years ago.
You're scouting it?
Yeah.
You just stumbled?
I was doing everything.
No, I think I'm gonna keep it just because of the fact that it's like a couple times faster than what I'm using to edit on right now.
What you found?
Oh, I got me a new computer. It was back in like January, February.
Hmm.
And I tell you what, it's 1,000 times better than my laptop was. The thing, I mean, I can stream on
Browser
it.
has lost connection.
I can do pretty much anything I want to. I got a gaming computer just because of the graphical capabilities of it will work really well for my editing and that kind of stuff too.
I think Andy was. I reached out to a few people. I think Andy was one of the first people. I was like, did I ask you about good editor or something like that, or I don't know. I was.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think so.
I ended up using my phone. I got some stupid app. I'm like, and it's like it's like, oh god, what am I messing with? This is like little girl stuff. It's like this is not
I
working.
mean, whatever works, dude.
I mean, there's a lot of apps out there. I've probably looked at like 20 or 30 different apps that do editing. Some of them will put a little watermark if you don't pay for it, but if you pay for the paid version, they can take the watermarks off.
I just paid $10 a year and they don't let me use this thing. I don't know.
I mean, when I first started, everything was on my phone. Now I do about half of it on my phone and half of it on my computer.
I need to get my GoPro going. I'm taking it for granted. I'll use it once. I'll put that stupid thing on my head, and I'm like, no. Then I think of the one on the vest, and I'm like, I don't want to do the vest thing too. Do they have one for a crotch? I want one for a crotch. I want a worm's.
Just get the clip and put it in your belt buckle.
I even make like a little gimbal.
No, they actually have a little clip for the clip one that you can get. Yeah, so if you don't want to wear the vest, then the other one, they actually have the one with the clip. I think I have it here.
Crotch shot.
Yeah, I have it right here. Give me a second.
So I can just imagine the looks you're getting.
See, I have the one you're talking about. I have the one with that goes in the hat. Sweet. I have that one. This is the one that goes in the hat.
Okay.
Kind of goes like this.
I'm sure they have a garter belt too.
Sweet. You put the GoPro here. Boom.
Yeah, that's the one I use.
Yeah, I have this one. I have another one.
I have some film footage from this one garage sale I went to, and then I started filming, and then I went back to look at it, and I was like, okay, now I gotta. Anyway, so, and I can't get it on my phone because my phone won't hold all this. Won't hold that much information. So it's like, oh crap. Yeah. I can't use my phone editor. That's why I'm working on the computer editor. And as I'm going through looking at this stuff, going, okay, I want to use that, and I'm trying to fix it and work on it and look at it. I look and I go to this estate center and I saw the same kid, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's an Asian dude. He's like, oh, he's always getting there earlier, faster than me. And so I went up to him. I'm like, what's your name, dude? And I was like, I saw you at this blah, blah, blah. He's like, you were there? And I'm like, yeah, you're the one who stole the video games. He's like, okay. But we started talking. He's a really good guy. He plays massive instruments. He's a musician. And he scored some like 1970s Sony tape things that are like worth $100. He got them for $10. I was like, wow. He scored big time. I said, here's my card. Let me know what you're looking for, and I'll help you find it, music wise. And it's crazy. And I'm like, I'm going to spotlight you in my video. So what? And he's like, don't put me in there. It's like, you already filmed. This is like,
too late. You're going on there.
He started laughing. He's like, don't put me in there.
Oh,
expired vintage underwear.
Nice.
Oh man! So why are you up so late, Andy?
Just cleaning. I have
washing dishes.
It's got a bunch of projects going on. Been taking a hold of a lot of the rooms in the house.
Where Luis is trying to how many things did you sell this weekend, Luis?
So far, I've sold 9 things today, which count as today only. So we'll see overnight, tonight, and then tomorrow. See how we do.
I got to figure out how to box these two. I sold these, and I'm like, oh crap! Why did I? Somebody wanted Dr. Pepper.
Oh, nice.
Old glass ones. They're green. I don't know where they are. I hate when you do eBay's global program. It's like they see where they are. But like I can see, on that one screen, because they charged them $19 for freaking shipping. And it's like, are you kidding me? Some guy paid $19 for shipping, and he barely paid that much for these 2 bottles. It's like,
wow.
Like, dude, you're like $40 into that crap.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's insane.
I need to list some. That's what I'm probably gonna do tomorrow. I'm not going sourcing after 2 days of. So. Oh gosh,
Yeah, I still have all this garage sale stuff to go over.
You got bags? Oh, is that it in the background? The little squares? Just everywhere.
The
Okay.
books,
It's a little bit of
cassettes. Yeah,
Cool.
pretty much it.
You do books too?
Just sheet music.
You like sheet music?
Oh yeah, I went to music school for a while.
What'd you study?
Drum performance and music.
That's right. You have a drum set. That's right.
nice.
What do you think of Rush's drummer? When that passed?
He's a cool guy. No, I only met him once. So
You
before he
did
passed.
not. Did you
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. A lot of my teachers were like, I guess, like somewhat famous, like Joe Porcaro, which is Jeff Porcaro's dad.
Nice.
Toto. Yeah.
So you got
Ralph
stories.
Humphrey. Yeah, Dancing with the Stars. Dave Byer, Melissa Etheridge.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys heard of like Danny Elfman and like
Kenny
Oingo Boingo. Yeah.
Dude, are you kidding me, dude? I grew up with Oingo Boingo. Everybody, all my friends used to make fun of me for listening to them.
Yep.
I had this one friend in California. It was like I grew up near Stockton in like my last few years of high school. And Derek, what's his name? Fundamentals. He's like, you lived in Stockton? He's like, Stockton, ghetto Stockton is. It's like it's worse than Oakland. It's like
Is Derek from there?
no, but he's in Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
I said, "You're in Sacred Tomato." He's like, don't call it that. It's like Sacred Tomato. He was like, I lived in Stockton for a little bit, and it's like, oh god, I used to get shot at all the time, and it's just crazy. I don't miss it. I went to 13th grade, as Derek calls it. Oh, you went to 13th grade at Delta College? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm originally from like Bakersfield, in that area. So.
I love the musicians out of Bakersfield.
Mm-hmm.
All the country guys. It was Dwight Yoakam. I think he's from Bakersfield, isn't he? Maybe I'm wrong.
Beats me.
Like, I don't listen to that. Oh, dudes. All right, we're going on 7 hours now. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, it's already 12 past midnight here in Cali.
Dude, it's 2. I'm going to regret this in the morning. I better call it off. That's it.
I'm going to head out myself anyway. So.
All right. Dude, we got to meet up one day. Do you ever go to the bins, James?
I said it earlier in the chat when you asked me. I've been there one time, and that was before I started reselling. My wife
That
and I
must have been overwhelming.
keep talking about it, but we haven't made it up there yet. So,
Which one? No, where is it you did not make it to, you said?
the bins.
Oh, okay. There's 2, right?
Yeah, I know they just opened a new one.
No, the one in Round Rock's been there for a while. It's much better. All the T-shirt rats I compete with up there. I go there because my daughter lives nearby there, and they hate me because I'll come out and they don't know what they're getting anyway. So I'm like, you guys left this one behind. What is it? Like, you don't know. Forget it. And it's like, major 70s, single stitch stuff. And it's like,
Well, right up there in Round Rock, that's a lot better area because you got Round Rock, Cedar Park. I mean, that's the richy part of town up there anyway.
yeah. Tracy from Tommy's show, right? She's up near the Park area, I think. And
Yeah, he lives in Cedar Park.
I said, you live in the ghetto. You're a ghetto trash girl. And she's like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, no, because just the other day, 5 cops got their ass shot up. This one dude, they weren't listening. He was mentally challenged, and the mom warned him. They said he's just, he's fired up, and they just tried to bolt in his house, and he just shot them all. Put like 3 of them in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That's your neighborhood. It was like, There you go. But it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So stressed out.
Not gonna see that in the news, are we?
It
But I've
wasn't
been to the
new.
one down here on the south side, but I haven't been to the one up in Round Rock yet. So
Dude, we should meet up there one day, maybe next year when things clear up. I'll show you around. But it's tinier, but it's more consistent. And the people there, I don't get it. I don't know why the ones in the south, like on Burleson Road, they're just overly aggressive, and people are rude. They'll steal shit out of your carts. They'll
Sounds like
stab.
our bins.
out of your car, hell, those still live out of your hand.
Sounds like our bins. Do you go to the bins, Luis?
No, I haven't been to the bins. I know they have some in San Bernardino. I haven't been to them yet, but
Yeah.
Bro, you gotta go.
There's SB, and then there's South Glendale.
in Glendale too. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
haven't
How many
been
you
to them.
guys
I
have?
gotta hit them up.
Like,
What's
how
up?
many would you say total in your area?
Just two.
Just
Oh.
two, yeah.
For LA, that's not a lot, though, is it?
Oh, it's the epicenter. So,
Yeah.
Really?
but you also have out of the closet, and then you have a couple of rag houses there too.
hmm
That's where I want to go. All right, if I ever make it there, you guys got to point me at the rag house. I want to go so bad.
Do you go to your rag house in where are you at?
It's in South Texas near Brownsville.
Brownsville. Okay.
I can't remember the Spanish name for it because I can never remember it. But it's like I think Roy and I talked. Did I ever tell you? You know Roy Arcade Treasures. I met him at the bins one day. I didn't even know who he was, and he's like comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, my name's Roy," and he gives me this card. I'm like, "Who the hell are you?"
Nice. Just
I
randomly.
didn't say that to him.
Here's
But
my
like
card.
later on, I was like watching YouTube, and I'm like, "That's it." So I typed to him. I was like, "Roy, I think we met." And he's like, "Where do we meet?" You know. He's like, "Yep, that's me. I gave you a card." And I was like, okay. "It's it's a small world." So
Yeah.
I just remember.
Yeah, rags in our place are very sacred.
Very what?
Very sacred. Not many
Yeah.
people. Yeah, they go crazy if you like bring someone.
You have to be like secretly invited into the Illuminati, single stitch club or something. I don't know.
No, I actually how I found one was I just stalked this guy on Instagram and I caught him slipping up. So I just kind of looked at his general area, and then I found the cross streets.
Yeah. You found it.
Yeah. Well,
Are you able
slip.
to sneak in there, or they don't let you in?
Oh no, it's kind of like the bins, sort of, but you're kind of just doing the sorting as well when you're buying.
Yeah.
So you have to
There was
sort
that kid I used to watch.
special fabrics.
I don't remember his name. He was popular for a while on YouTube. You know what I'm talking about?
What was his name?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember his name. This chubby
What did he
red. What?
What did he do?
He would go to that. He would go to that one that you're talking about. I think it was. I see him on Instagram. I haven't followed him in a while. I kind of got tired of listening to him. I think he's planning stuff. I don't know. My friends were like, he's planning stuff. I know somebody who knows him. And I'm like, how do you know he's planning something in there? They were saying he was planning single stitches in there. He's like, oh, look what I found. And I was like,
That happens. That happens.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Everybody wants to look at what I got, because I have 2 Instagram accounts. The second one was just for all the t-shirt rats, and I follow so many, and they do so many auction lives on the Instagram, and I'm like, guys make me sick. I saw you pick. You think you're gonna get away with selling it for that much? And it's like
$5,000 Aladdin shirt.
Yeah, right.
It's the one that came from Kuwait, It's like, it's like whatever.
I mean,
These guys are funny.
On eBay, you see some of the ridiculous prices people post some of their stuff out on eBay, and you're just like, it's never gonna sell at that much money. Why the hell are you even wasting your time putting it
But it
that high?
surprises you when it does, or if it does to you. You know what I mean? I jokingly threw up some stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna go out free balling this thing. I just put it up there. One day, my jaw dropped. I stood there for an hour going, "Did this sell? Did this sell for $400?" You know, and I didn't think it would, you know, and it was just some like random antique I posted, and I was like, I must have been my keyword because I'm really meticulous about putting keywords in eBay. If you don't, you're stupid if you don't. Excuse me. It's not in your best interest if you don't put the right keyword.
Yeah, you gotta put keywords. Yeah, they help.
Like somebody is like waiting for that thing and pounced, you know. So I look and I hunt, and that's my thing for eBay is if I have something good, like the standard stuff, scan it, put it on, you know, steal somebody's pictures that already sold it, because they're never going to come back and use those pictures. No. But you know, just do it. And get
Told
it
you
out.
my strategy.
What's that?
Who told you my strategy? Very common thing.
Yep.
I would never steal somebody's photos that's posted it. That's not, you know, that's not cool. And I've seen people use my photos. It's like, you might want to adjust the tint and the tones on that, and it's not.
Just tilt it to the right a little.
No, what I do is I piss them off. I'll go on and watch it, and they send me where they send me the the best offer, and then I write them back and I go, I'll only buy this if you take my picture down.
Nice.
They never, you know, it's like, nah.
That's awesome.
Gotta have fun. So, you know what I've been doing on eBay that's been helping me a lot is when I comp something and really good, but you see that nobody really has it up yet, but maybe one or two sold with the best offer. And you're like, how do you know? How do you know how much it sold? I just write to people. And the last 3 times I wrote resellers, and they're, you know, I'm honest. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Quick question, make it short and sweet. Reseller to reseller. How much did you sell this for? I have one. I want to list it. Thank you. And they come back and they go, I sold it for this much. And I'm like, okay. And I put it for $5 higher and hope it sells, you know. It's like, because I want to move that stuff. It's like, get it out there.
I think Completely does that too.
Who does?
Completely? The iPhone app.
Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. Completely.
You can stalk people on it too.
I don't know anything about it, dude. What is it?
It's like an eBay sold app.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'll stalk them. Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, how much did you sell that for? Who are you? Where do you live? You have any good trash? Who was it? Somebody was talking about that. They were doing some kind of I don't remember who it was the other night. Somebody was talking about, was it Cat or somebody was talking about they're putting stuff on their curb and it was a garage sale thing, and then the guys kept coming like at 7 at night and stuff. They're like, why are you here? Oh, I heard you had a garage sale. I'm like, it's 7 at night. You know, what do you want? It's like, because they're there because they think you're going to put the stuff on the curb. You know, probably. That's what I thought. I was like, it happened today. I was driving and I saw this estate sale and I almost got in a wreck and flipped a bee and went in there, and this guy's dad, I guess, passed away. I didn't know until I left, but he's like, it's empty in there. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm going to look. And then as he's talking, he's like, everything on the shelf in the garage is free. And I'm like, crap, I can use that and I can use that. And I bought this $20 bottle of, like, I didn't buy it. He gave it to me, but I got this $20 bottle of like weed killer that I've seen it at the Home Depot. And I'm like, that stuff's expensive. You know, he's like, I haven't used it. And I'm like, how much do you want for it? He's like, just take it all. I don't want any of that stuff. And I'm like, thank you.
He just wanted to get rid of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, his dad died and he didn't want to deal with it. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And I went in there and scanned a bunch of books. His dad had a really bunch of interesting books. I don't like selling Louis L'Amour books, you know, Western stuff, but he had like this many of them. I was like, that's a lot, right? That's $25, you know. Faithful Western book readers would like throw it on there. So I said, how much do you want for your books? And he's like, I said, they're $1, but you said half off. I'm like, if I buy a bunch, and he's like, pick as many as you want for $5. I'm like, okay. and 2 of them were like $25 books. I'm like, they're about houses and stuff. And I was like, okay. You know, went
Is
out.
that Amazon or eBay?
I love selling books. It's easy. Just throw it in a bag, poly bag, send it off. It's media. It doesn't cost anything. You guys know booksellers from the bins back in the day? You've seen them.
I used to do it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do the books. I just haven't sold very many of them yet.
Yep.
All my good friends that did it on Amazon, it's weird. Just before the pandemic, they all started quitting. And I was like, why? He's like, I'm just not making it. Because this bins was like, they weren't putting the books out on regular schedule. And then it was like, it went from like 5 book people to like all of a sudden 20. And so nobody was getting books. And it was just getting scarce. And then all of a sudden the pandemic ended. So I was texting my one friend. I'm like, it's a good thing you quit because you wouldn't be able to do shit right now anyway.
Yeah. Unless you're like doing like library sales. If you're doing it at the bins,
You just give your secret away, which I know. I have a there's a library that's like on the posh part of the community. You know West James? Yeah, pretty nice neighborhood. Their libraries there. Best books. They're, oh my god, it's crazy. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Andy? I'm sorry.
oh yeah, the bin rats, they just they carry in their 27-gallon totes, and then as soon as the books drop, they just fill up their totes, and it's not like you're scanning at the giant bin. You're just scanning off your tote, and
Yeah.
they're just filling it up right away.
Not these ones. They give us carts. We have shopping carts, and the book people always grab 3 carts: 1 to park, 2 to grab. So they're just when the books come out, they're just loading. They don't look at they're just loading most of them. And
Yeah,
of course,
that's how it is.
going for the college books, and and then I'm watching them for 2 hours. Like I'll be there 2 or 3 hours, and they're still scanning the damn. Well, you're not done with that cart. You're slow, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And they're like, leave me alone. And it's like, want me to help scan? And it's like, no, let me help you. And I do. I help move books and stuff. But
I enjoy watching the people who are scanning manually with like the Amazon app, and they're just taking the picture and then putting it away. And
beats eBay. eBay sucks, man. Oh god, the eBay app. And then you got to push the button and go back. You use it, right, you guys?
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's mostly what I do.
I really that's one thing. If I had to beg eBay to do something, get a better scanner. It's like, am I missing something? Am I missing out? Is there like something better than the phone scanner?
Because I mean, even the eBay app has a barcode scanner on it, but it sucks.
It's right.
90% of the
Yeah.
time, you can't even find the item you just scanned, and you still have to go through and type it in manually.
They don't ever put the UPCs in for product.
Yeah.
I'll do it too, just to kind of base it up and help. And then because a lot of times I go, I'll find that again, and I have confidence, and I do, and I'm like, there's my UPC. I put that in. Like I'm doing my work. I wish some people would get off their ass and do it. And it's like no, it would make eBay a much more. But I wish the technology would just get a little more effective in terms of something, because you got to push a button to go to a button sometimes. Just have something better, because I'm tired of pushing buttons to say what sold, and what isn't there, and then get to change the settings every time. Mine, I don't know if it's your guys' phone. Every time I check early dates or the lowest amount, as soon as I move one of those and I go back, and it takes off the lowest setting, and then it gives you like their best option. I don't know if you guys have that issue.
Oh yeah.
Is that a standard thing on all phones? I don't know.
My
But one thing I've also seen people that do with the books at the thrift store. I've seen this guy before. He had a little scanner that I guess it was connected somehow to his phone.
database apps.
He was doing it quick. He was just like scan. I think he did a whole rack like in 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
He was just going fast.
Price books, in California?
What was
time?
that? I didn't hear
Do
you.
you have Half Price Books, the company called Half Price?
Oh no, we have like Book Off, but I mean, as for like used bookstores,
Used
no.
books, though, yeah. Because I know the
James-
Goodwill has a books, an actual bookstore that just sells books out here.
Oh,
It's,
not yeah, because you're in LA.
They're picked
I would
through though.
start like they probably have an electronic Goodwill, don't they?
yeah. I mean, I never been to it, but I've heard some of the other, when I'm at the thrift stores, sometimes I hear them telling, that there's, I think it's in Pomona, I believe. It's just a Goodwill, but they just have like the nothing but books on there. It's like no clothes, no games, just strictly books.
Expensive ones. I bet you go visit it, dude. I bet you they got showcases. They probably got
Yeah,
showcases and stuff. I've sold bins. If you're not savvy in the books, there's some guys like there's this old guy. I loved him.
Mhm.
And like first he kind of got on my nerves, but then I started talking to him like, okay, you got mad knowledge bombs. All right, I give you props. You got the wisdom, brother. And he like he'll like look what I found. I found a Samuel Clemens first edition, blah blah. I'm like, shit. So he'll show me the comps on it. I'm like, okay, $2,000. You found something. It's like, and he comes back and he goes, I sold it. I'm like, how much? 1,800. And I was like, what?
Oh my god.
It's like, yeah. I'm just looking for the $50, $100 ones that I know that I'm aware of. Get good at it. You can find them. You got to know what to look for. I work in library systems for a while, and I'm like, okay. And I knew people that would check out first edition books from libraries. Didn't give a shit if they got a fine. They'd pay the fine just so they could have that book and sell it. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Here you go. You sell it, then you got the money to pay for the fine anyway.
They
Yeah.
didn't give a shit. Well, they were never going to. If you need to go back and steal more books, you better pay your fine.
Well,
I'm not condoning that.
I've never heard of that, but
Oh, dude,
crazy.
there's a movie.
rare first edition, and they didn't realize what they had.
Yeah. Well, I used to. Okay, when I lived in New York City. I never really technically lived in New York City. I squatted, but I lived mostly in Brooklyn and Queens, and I lived in Bronx for a little bit with a friend. When I lived in Queens and stuff, I would go to these conventions that were just strictly for book dealers, and I learned so much. And that's when I was like just starting my eBay game, but I was just going to check stuff out. Then I would go to the art print section where they would rip stuff out of books and they would sell these. These things are crazy. These guys had so much stuff, but these guys were like inbred. Like they would only work together. It's kind of like you said, Andy, like the guys that don't come to the bins. It's our secret, And some of them had, I'd sneak into these places. You have to pay high dollar, but I would pretend to be like a dealer. And I would sneak in there and like, just so I can collect a book I wanted, and I'd find prints and then I would flip them so I can get what I wanted, And I'm like, okay, let me get some knowledge here. And I would talk because I studied fine arts. I knew about prints enough, and I worked in a museum in New York. So I talked to my friends. He's like, talk to this guy, go to him. He'll show you a dealer that's out in Queens. And in this guy's house, I went in. I choked all the dust that was in there, but this guy had so many. He probably had millions of dollars worth of art prints, and I just was. I just want to look at them. But you can't buy them. I just want to look at them. But his place stunk. It was just like it was. I was worried about the stuff molding, but he probably had so much. It's just crazy. I just said, I hope you don't smoke in here.
They had like the humidifier running and all that.
No, he was old school. I open the windows once in a while.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's like, imagine if it's one match.
It's fine. I know.
Yeah, people talk about schemes and scams. Like I was telling you about, because I work from a library system, and I just know how people are. And I was working for reference librarians and stuff. And talk about, you want to learn stuff, ask a reference librarian anytime you need to know something. You guys know that. And it's just crazy, the people that the stuff they try to do to get a book, even if it's just like a book you can go get for 50 cents at a garage sale or something. But they're just people are lazy, want to steal books. But then it's the people that their intentions are deep evil and wrong, like the ones that want like a first edition book that's worth hundreds of dollars, and they're going to a library to steal it. Now put the barcode things in. So if you walk out, it scans. Like New York has some special libraries. And when I say specialty libraries for whatever subject matter you're looking for, you can't go out without a security guard checking your backpack and frisking you. Do you have those books and stuff? No, did you check that book out? And then they'll beep off. You got a book, guy's stuck it in his sock or something.
Oh, man.
Stupid. Crazy. There's a movie that came out with, I'm trying to remember this comedian's name. And she's usually a comedian, and I don't really like her humor that much, but she did a movie a few years ago where she plays she's like a con artist. And basically she goes and I think she's either doing autographs. Yeah, she's doing autographs and letters of books. I think mostly letters. And she does she'll go and scan and figure out how to write this author's name, and then she'll write these letters on a typewriter. She'll go and find the right typewriter, and it has to be from that era, and it has to be the one that author used. And she types the letters up and is totally scamming these people. It was based on a true story. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
It's crazy. I remember her name. Oh, what is that comedian's name? If you ever see it, watch it. This lady is so sly. She's for years, and this happened in New York, she was just going to these bookstores and book dealers. She's I have this letter. It's from this author, and they're like, where'd you get this? And then the only thing she was credited to was she would make up stories in the letter. And the only way she got caught was two historians said, that's not possible, because he wasn't there at that time. He was at this island. And finally, they had the FBI come after her, totally arrest her.
Wow.
All right. What time is it?
Oh, it's been another hour almost. 2.5 hours.
It's already 12:30 our time, so
2 hours. We were going to get off at 2.5 hours. Now it's been 3.5 hours.
yeah,
Oh, dude. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to regret this.
yeah, man.
It's 2:30, and I've been on almost 4 hours. Hey, guess what, guys? I'm
You're going to pay your watch time by the time you get to the
in whatever 90 hours away. All right. Well, you guys, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna crash here.
Nice.
All right, Louie.
having us.
Appreciate you guys coming on, man. Thanks for helping me figure this crap out.
Definitely, man. Thanks for having us, Louie.
Take care, man.
All right, have a good night. I'll catch you on the lowdown.
See you later.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right, see you, James.